Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Adventures of Adam. I'm Adam. Let's adventure and welcome to the free-to-play Rares Only Plus series. On this account, I've been progressing through the game using champions who are rare, uncommon, or common, plus any champion who is free and permanently available. Alright, the most recent addition to our roster has been Arbiter, who's been a lot of fun. I haven't got a chance to test her out in live arena yet because I haven't done any live arena yet since I've gotten her. So hopefully we'll do some tonight. That starts in about 5 hours. No, not 5 hours. 3 hours. It starts in about 3 hours. So we'll be doing some live arena when it goes live, and we'll be testing out Arbiter, assuming she doesn't get banned from our opponents. But for the time being, we're just going to focus on this time 2 Savage. Actually, before we get into that, let me check my arena refreshes. A lot of interesting things have transpired since the last I checked in with you guys in the way of community polls. We can go over that in a little bit too, because I haven't looked at them today to see if they've changed at all. But with the addition of Arbiter to this team, I've cut off a ton of time. So my average time was like about 3 minutes, but my best time was like 2.5 minutes. So I've cut off like 30 to 40 seconds per run thanks to Arbiter, so that's been really nice. She's still not level 60 yet, but she'll level up as we do more of these runs. But yeah, this is what we're up to tonight, just farming some Savage gear. I was going to stream last night, you know, like I normally stream on Saturday nights, but the Savage stuff didn't start until like 2 hours after I normally stop streaming, so I didn't really feel like starting my stream at like 5 o'clock in the morning, because it's usually I'm trying to wind down and get ready for bed at that point. So I just decided not to stream, so we're going to do it today instead. So I banked all my energy yesterday and then spent it all as soon as it went live. Yeah, I was watching Alone on the second monitor. I feel like Alone is a very good second monitor show, just as Raid Shadow Legends is a good second monitor game. Yeah, they go nicely together. Neither of them really require your full undivided attention at all times. It's just like key moments where you got to pay attention to one or the other. So I was doing a fair bit of multitasking. Netflix just added season 10 of Alone, which I haven't seen yet. So I was watching that. Okay, just wanted to make sure my microphone was working. I forgot to check. That was my mic check. And due to stealing gear and moving gear around to try to get my Arbiter built, I ended up accidentally modifying this speed tune such that I'm always getting the big version of decreased defense up from War Maiden before Coldheart does her Heartseeker now. So that's really nice. Wow. I may be tempted to spend a few gems during this farm, because I just feel like Fire Knight's where I want to be spending my energy. There's a lot of sets that I need from Fire Knight. However, I do want to try to get my Arbiter faster. Just for like live arena purposes. So I really want to farm Dragon, and another benefit of me farming Dragon is that my Drexlar can solo Dragon 20, which means I can farm four food champions at once while grinding for speed gear for Arbiter. So I'm highly incentivized to farm Dragon 20 for that reason. Hey, what's up, Natsu? Welcome. Just doing some savage gear farming at the moment. I really want Savage, I really want Regen, and I'm currently working on getting a fast shield set, because I intend to build a Doom Screech in a shield set for Tag Arena. Once I get like 3 legitimate, or what I would consider to be legitimate Tag Arena teams built, then I'll start actually seeing how high I can push up in Tag Arena. Not quite there yet. I've got like 1.5 teams. I'll probably do a speed team with Arbiter, a go second team with Doom Screech, and I'm not really sure what my third team's going to be yet. But I think I'll probably have to build a second speed team just because go second teams are extremely champion dependent. And it's going to be very difficult to build go second teams on this account. But for like early game Tag Arena, I think like Doom Screech and a shield set with Marquez as my defense-based snooker. Oh, okay. What's up, Trey? Oh yeah, I saw you posted that you pulled Theodore. That's awesome, man. That's a really good one. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I was playing Minecraft with my daughter before I went live. We were building a giant treehouse, so it was kind of fun. But yeah, Minecraft always makes me tired. It's just a very soothing game when you're in creative mode. Less soothing when you're in survival and you're running from zombies and trying not to get killed by skeletons and stuff. But still fun. I was able to get my Arbiter to 200 accuracy, give or take. So I ended up going with the other mastery. I forget what it's called. Something Timely Intervention or something like that. The tier 6 in the support tree that gives her a turn meter boost when someone gets knocked below 25% HP. Just seemed like that. I mean, that one is definitely the most value, but I also value her landing her weekend and stuff, so. But because I was able to get to 200 accuracy, give or take, plus or minus 5, I don't remember exactly what her stats are. I figured that was enough, and it would be worth it to take the more high value mastery. Attack percentage boots with crit rate. I'll keep those. Also, I do plan to build my Seal of the Drakes in Curing set. I haven't really looked at my pieces, but I did just get another 6-star. Just from like the passive food from the sparring pit, and just from farming food and spider and dragon, I managed, like, without farming any campaign, I got my next, I'm building a Skinwalkers team. So with Gnarlhorn to provoke on a 3-turn cooldown, 100% chance, and Tolog to keep him healed up, and then Yaga as my damage dealer. I just gotta figure out what the other 2 members of this team are gonna look like. And I think I've got it narrowed down. I'm probably going to do Fleshmonger for decreased defense, so that my damage dealer can deal more damage. And then, who was it? Someone that does a turn meter boost, I think. This guy. He's got an AoE, so I could slap him in a stun set, but it's not necessary, I don't think. But he does a 25%, or sorry, a 20% turn meter fill, and then a 25% increase attack. So he will give an increased attack boost to my Yaga, and a turn meter boost to the rest of the team. And then he's also got the big poison on his A1. I think this guy seems the best. So I think my team is going to be Yaga, Gnarhorn, Tolag, Blood Painter, and Fleshmonger. And then I'll be able to use this team in the Skinwalkers secret room as well. Yeah, Tolag is dope. Yeah, Flamemember's not bad, and I considered him, especially because of the synergy he has with Tolag. But I think I'm just gonna... I mean, it's always subject to change, but I honestly think that this guy's gonna give me more value. Just more poisons, which will help turn on Yaga's A3. So more poisons for killing the boss faster is gonna be good. And then the turn meter boost and increase attack. And then the decreased defense just seems worth it. So that's what I'm going for. So I just 6-starred Tolag today, and then I'm probably going to do Blood Painter and Fleshmonger next, and then actually legitimately start focusing this faction for Faction Wars and see if I can beat it. I did finish Barbarians, thanks to Yakarl the Scourge. Yeah, we're at 50 stars. I got to go back and 3-star a bunch of the stages that I haven't 3-starred yet, but I'm limited to how many keys I can do. But yeah, Flamemember didn't seem bad. It was between Flamemember and the guy that does the turn meter boost, and I think I prefer the turn meter boost, honestly. I'll read the curing. I'm pretty sure it works. I'll look at it again and read the text after this run, because I have to go back and get my energy refills before I do more runs anyway. I think it increases the value of all heals by 25%. So it won't be like still does a 10% heal at the start of her turn. It's not going to go from 10% to 35%, but whatever that 10% value is, like let's say a champion has 100,000 HP. That 10% heal would be a 10,000 HP heal. So the extra 25% will be 25% of the 10,000. So what would that be? 2,500 more healing, I guess. But also it helps restore destroyed max HP. So that will kind of help her in Hydra a little bit, or help my team in Hydra a little bit, which is an area where I need to I need as much help in that area as I can get. I'll put it that way. But it's just something I'm going to try. I don't know 100% if it's going to work or be worth it, but I think it's going to help a lot in Bommel too. For Bommel 90 hard. Like, I beat Bommel 90 on normal, but Bommel on hard is going to be probably one of the most challenging things I face on this account. Wow, new best time. Let me look at how the curing set is worded. But a 20% bonus heal. Okay, so yeah, so on Seal of the Drakes, whatever the value of her 10% heal is, that value is increased by 20%. But it also will work with these masteries too. So if I take like Lay on Hands, that'll give her another 5%, plus this gives them another 10% if they're super low. If they're under crowd control effects, they'll get another 15%. So, like, all of it kind of adds up to, like, this cumulative effect where it's just more and more and more. So I'll probably do something like that. And then I might even come down here and take... I haven't decided. Like, it's either going to be War Master or Fearsome Presence. I think I'm going to do Fearsome Presence just because of how desperately I'm going to need the crowd control. Because right now, in Doom Tower Hard, I'm stuck on this wave right here. And it's the counterattacks are what's killing me. I can't crowd control them long enough to keep them from counterattacking me and killing my team. So I literally just need more crowd control. So I've got Yakarl for freeze, Bellower and a stun set, and Drexthar for provoke. So I'll probably replace Dark Elhain with Syl when I get her, which I'm about a week away from Syl. And hopefully that'll give me enough crowd control to beat that wave. Yeah, so like a week and a half away. So, you know. Hey, what's up, guys? Relentless would be good. There's two things with Relentless. I personally, I'm not going to be using Relentless on this series because this is intended to be an educational series, and I want to make content that's as accessible and relatable to as many people as possible, and not everyone's going to have good Relentless gear. So I'm not going to, for that reason specifically, even though I have some Relentless, I'm not going to be building Syl and Relentless. And another thing about Relentless is I personally don't like the set because it's so RNG dependent. I would rather have things that give me consistent value like throughout the fight, no matter what. Because if I have to rely on the RNG of those Relentless procs to beat content, then in my opinion, that's, you know, I don't know. It's not really the type of thing I'm looking for. I want something that's gonna give me steady, consistent. Yes, I do have Yakarl booked. Yeah, I've got. I don't remember. I've got enough books to book Syl, and then I'll have like 10 or so left over. So whoever I'm not sure who I'm gonna get first between Yannicka or Vizix, but I should have enough to book them by the time I get them. Because I'm taking a pass on this champion training event just because I don't feel like doing champion training right now. I'm just kind of doing it passively through farming food and dungeons, plus the sparring pit. And there's nobody that like I desperately need to like max out right now. So, it just I didn't, you know, like if it doesn't do me any good to 6-star champions if I don't have gear to put them in. You know, like what good is a champion without gear? So right now I've still got to gear all these champions that I've just recently 6-starred. They don't even have gear yet because they don't have the silver to level the gear. You know, it's just like this. Here, I'll show you my team for Nether Spider. So basically, it was. I've even got a silver key left. I could even show you. Yeah, I used Yakarl to keep the little spiders from counterattacking. Because I couldn't just... It was just... They were dealing too much damage to me and I couldn't heal through it. And then my 2 reliquaries to basically just keep Drexthar alive. If you have Drexthar Blood Twin and you can keep him alive, you can beat Nether Spider. That's all it comes down to. So they're ally attacking and counterattacking. So that now they've all got the burns. So they're going to deal big damage to the boss. I'm not going to incite more counterattacks. Let's do a cleanse. If Yakarl gets his turn... Oh, he doesn't have the freeze up yet. I think if Yakarl didn't use his AoE freeze on the waves, I think we would have been fine. Or we'll probably still be fine, but... yeah, freeze them so they can't counterattack me. These two aren't frozen, so I'm not going to... You kind of get the idea. Ooh, 6 fragments left for Yakarl. Nice. Or Drex. Yeah, Drex is... Drexlar has been the single most significant champion on this account. Hands down. Yeah, that's pretty much all this team is. I've got 2 healers, a little bit of crowd control for the Spiderlings, and then Drexlar's burns. I guess I could have used Yakarl's A2 on the side spider. Now that I think about it. To freeze it, and it wouldn't have counterattacked. But Yakarl's got his AoE freeze coming up. If he doesn't die. Okay, good. He didn't freeze this one, but that's okay. You get the idea. It's kind of slow and steady, but it works. I'm actually going to use this A2 on this one over here. To freeze it. Wow, he almost killed it. Hey, what's up, June? I needed the crowd control because I was dying. They were ally attacking and counter-attacking and just killing me. So for the level of gear, like this reliquary is only level 50. Like you can see kind of how close this is. Like she's almost dead. Yeah, so that one just died. It really just depends on the amount of healing and cleansing and the level of gear you have. But for me, I did actually need to keep the Spiderlings at bay because they were killing me. And Yakarl's gonna die when he gets a turn, unless I cleanse. Okay, but yeah, I don't want to sit here and that's how I did it. And with these bosses, you only need to beat them once, and then you can move on with your life. So, but this is where we're stuck right now. I just need more crowd control. So hopefully, Syl the Drakes will be my savior. No, okay. I turned all the AoEs off. I'm talking about what I had to do to beat it for the first time. I wasn't doing AoE attacks on the Spiderlings. I was just dying because they were attacking me and killing me. So I brought in crowd control so they couldn't attack me and kill me. That was the solution for me. It wasn't I needed crowd control because I was attacking them. I was crowd control to prevent them from attacking me. What's up, Premier Craft? I am well aware of the mechanics of the fight. Because the first iteration of the team that I ran, instead of Yakarl, I was using Coffin Smasher for a decreased attack A1 on the boss. But that wasn't what was killing me. It was the Spiderlings that were killing me. So I was like, okay, well, if it's not the boss that's killing me, let me keep the Spiderlings from attacking me. And that's all I had to do. As soon as I brought in Yakarl to crowd control the Spiderlings, I beat it my first try, so. Sim 3. That's old school, isn't it? Are you talking about The Sims? Like that game? Yeah. Bela, Drexlar is huge. I don't know. I mean, every account is different. So it's impossible to say. You know, I don't know what champions you currently have access to, but my Drexlar solos Dragon 20, with accompanied by Yakarl the Scourge, together Yakarl and Drexlar duo Spider 20. So I can farm food in Dragon, I can farm food in Spider. My Drexlar solos Ice Golem 21, so if I feel like I need to farm Ice Golem, I can solo 21 and farm food at the same time. He solos the Griffin in Doom Tower Normal. He soloed the Eternal Dragon, like the final boss. Like he's been soloing like every piece of content. He solos Iron Twins up to stage 10, so I can farm Iron Twins. He's just been absolute. Drexlar has been nuts. And he's the only reason I'm getting Hydra chests right now. So because of Drexlar, I'm able to farm fragments for Mithrala. My Soul Bond is in a Perception set, a Crit Damage set, and a Cruel set. I could show you the build after this if you want. If I remember. I'll try to remember. Oh, no House of Dragon spoilers, please. I've only seen the first episode of Season 2. I've been saving them for when I go back to work, so I have something to watch in my downtime. Yeah, I've been enjoying that. That's been pretty good. For the record, I'm Team Black. In case anybody was wondering. That's a great question, Calvin. I will show you my Drexlar build. While I'm showing the Soulbond build to... Who was asking for that? Zool. Okay. I'll keep that one. Alright, so let's do Soulbond first. So, crit damage set, perception set, and then cruel set. With crit damage, amulet, attack ring, and accuracy banner. So her total build is 190 speed. She only needs 70% crit rate, so we're a little over there, but it's not a big deal. And then 206 crit damage with enough accuracy to land her turn meter reduction the majority of the time in level 20 dungeons. Drexthar. Regen set. So what you're looking for in a regen build for Drexthar is speed, resistance, HP, and defense, and accuracy. So you get resistance, defense, speed, accuracy. This is a really nice piece. HP percentage, defense percentage, resistance, HP. Speed on the boots with HP, resistance, defense. Defense on the chest with speed and resistance. And then HP on the gloves with resistance and speed. You got accuracy banner with speed and HP. Defense, amulet with a ton of accuracy and a little bit of resistance. 50 accuracy, by the way. That's really nice. And then HP with defense, HP, and more defense. So because he has this accuracy aura that gives him an extra 70 accuracy, on the fights... Oops, wrong button. On the fights where his 205 accuracy isn't enough, I could use him, just put him in as the aura lead, which for the solo content, he's the aura lead anyway. So he gets an extra 70 accuracy here, and then you need at least 305 resistance to be resist capped for all the level 20 dungeons. And then 224 speed. Just shy of 70,000 HP, and 3,600 defense. Before I got him to 3-star, he was at 1-star. But the 3-star gave him an extra 600 defense. So I used to have higher defense and lower HP, but because I get an extra 600 defense from his blessing, I swapped some pieces around to try to get his HP as high as possible, so he gets more healing every turn from the regen. So that's my Drexlar build. Yeah, for Spider... Oh, wait, hold on. This is my Spider team. I have to do an AI setup, so it's actually... This is my Spider team. But these guys are in the sparring pit right now. And then for Dragon, he just solos Dragon, 20. So that's my Dragon team. And then Ice Golem, 21, he solos that too. I put Yakarl in there because I was trying to do 20 for my Arbiter missions. Obviously, he can solo Minotaur too. He does stage 10. He fail occasionally against Spirit, but he does stage 10 against all affinities. And then against Magic Affinity, I could do stage 11. So I use him to farm Iron Twins as well. He's just huge. And then Doom Tower... Even though you're not supposed to use HP burners against the Magma Dragon, because I have Cold Heart to do the heal reduction, I was using him as my provoker, so that, you know, it's pretty good. He slays the Nether Spider. I think if I had a Blood Shield accessory for him, he could probably solo Scarab King, but I just don't. And he was instrumental in this fight as well, the Frost Spider. He's just so big. Like, if there's very little things that you can't use Drexlar for. Nice. Yeah, there's so much value to be had in Fire Knight. Yakarl, shoot, I wish I would have. Man, it'd be cool if you could just bring up their stats from this. Like, how cool would it be if I could just be like, you know, I don't know. My Yakarl is not built for damage. He does have good damage multipliers, particularly on his A2. It could hit very hard, but I'm valuing survivability, speed, and accuracy for his main primary stats. So he's wearing HP percentage gloves, HP percentage chest, and then speed on the boots. I've got him built with like 350 accuracy, so that's what he needs to be a wave crowd control champion in Doom Tower hard. And then he's over 200 speed. I forget the exact speed. And then for masteries, I took Fearsome Presence. So that gives each hit on his A1 an extra 5% chance to place the freeze, and it bumps. So instead of like a 50% chance, it's a 55 and then a 55. So slightly increases the chance that he freezes on the A1, and it puts his A3 from a 75 to an 80% chance to freeze. So I have done my faction wars today. I beat the first boss of the High Elves for the first time. I didn't have enough damage to beat the boss because it's the one that does the health swap. But with Arbiter's turn meter boost, increase attack, it was enough to race the first boss of High Elves Faction Wars. So I did beat that for the first time today. I tried to do all that stuff off stream. I think the Blood Shield emergency heal would be really good. I personally don't have any Blood Shield for Demon Spawn yet, so I can't speak to that personally. But it seems perfectly reasonable, especially if you're struggling to keep him alive. If anyone dies in the Spider 20 duo, it's usually Drexthar, because he's the one who's taking all the aggro. Occasionally, Yakarl's A2 will get resisted. Like, Yakarl can solo Spider 20's turn meter. He can also solo the Fire Knight 20 turn meter. Like, because he's doing a turn meter steal, and placing the big version of decreased speed, and then placing the big version of increased speed on himself, it's kind of like Armanza's A3, or it's like Armanza's A2, except it's single target instead of AoE. It functions effectively the same. So if the spider has 90% turn meter, when Yakarl does his A2, it drops it to 0, and then now Yakarl has 90% turn meter. So he gets back, he cycles through his turns really fast, so he's able to just lock down the boss's turn meter. So if I get an unlucky resist, or 2 unlucky, it usually takes 2 unlucky resists for the run to fail. Or depending on the timing of the resist, because sometimes Drexthar can be low, and then if it gets resisted while Drexthar's low, the boss attacks, it can kill Drexthar. But it's consistent enough that I do farm it with super raids on, and I still feel like I'm getting exceptional value, just because of all the free food that I farm. I'll show you. I'll show you after this. I'll do one run. So I set the A2 as the priority skill, and then I set his A3, the AoE freeze, as his second priority. So that way he's always turn meter reducing the spider and keeping the big spider from taking a turn. And then in between the AoE freezes, the spiderlings attack Drexthar and take damage from Drexthar's passive, so they're all taking HP burns. And then Yakarl will freeze, and that will give Drexthar enough time to take a couple turns and heal up from the regen. But this is why you want to build your Drexthar with resistance, because if I didn't have resistance on Drex, he'd be taking poisons all day long. So I gotta put different food in here, because these are my sparring pit guys right now. So you can see I'm using Drex for his aura, so that puts him over the accuracy cap for dungeons. Okay, so right here he's gonna drop the turn meter and place decreased speed, and now he's already about ready to take a turn. See that? Like, that turn meter steal is insanely OP. He's already got back to his A2. He's gonna do the turn meter drop again. See that? See how insane that is? So now the spiderlings are attacking Drex. They're getting HP burned from his passive. Now they're frozen. That gives Drexthar time to heal back up. Stealing the turn meter again. And every time one of the little spiderlings goes, if they're under HP burn, they deal damage equal to 3% of the boss's max. So right here you see 166,000, 166,000, 166,000. That's all from the HP burns on the little spiderlings. So this is how the boss dies. So these two, they just do it. And you see all these resists coming in for Drexthar. Every time he gets attacked, you'll see resisted. That's why you want to build him with resist, because if he gets a poison, that poison is going to deal damage to him equal to 5% of his max HP. So when you have, 10 poisons, that's half your HP gone at the start of your turn. And Drexthar's also placing the big version of decreased attack to help keep himself alive. At this point, if Drexthar dies, it doesn't matter because there's enough burns out there. Yeah, so pretty easy. That's actually kind of a nice one. I'll keep that. Anytime I see crit damage with accuracy, it's actually a pretty nice one too. So yeah. Yep. The dynamic duo. So, not all the spiderlings get frozen. Yakarl only has a 75% chance to, or 80 because I have the Fearsome Presence Mastery. So an 80% chance to freeze unless they're at or above 75% turn meter, then it's 100% chance and it can't be resisted. So if they're below 75% turn meter, he's only got a 75% chance to freeze them. But it's actually kind of fine because if he doesn't freeze the spiderlings, then they have a chance to attack Drexthar and receive the HP burn from his passive. But because Drexthar is a weak affinity, they're always going to attack Drexthar. So I don't have to worry about Yakarl taking damage. Unless his A2 gets resisted and the big spider gets a turn. So it kind of depends. Like, I've seen it get resisted once and then them still survive and be able to finish the run. But it kind of just depends on if not only if it happens, but when it happens. So if Drexthar's really low from the spiderling attacks, and if that happens to be when Yakarl gets resisted, it can fail. But generally, they can survive one resist depending on the timing of it. Yeah, the A2 is 100% chance to freeze. But he can't freeze the big spider with it. So. It's also on a 4-turn cooldown, so that also gives it gives the spiderlings time to attack in between. But it's like effectively a 3-turn cooldown because of the turn meter steal on the A2. It's not exactly the same as taking an extra turn, but it's about as close as you can get. I'm actually a very big fan of Yakarl the Scourge. Now, if you've recently fused Armands, you probably don't need Yakarl the Scourge, but for everyone who missed that fusion, 100% go for Yakarl the Scourge. He's much better than most people give him credit for. I think a lot of people look at the A3 and see that it's not 100% chance to freeze, and they immediately write him off, because I did too initially. But I was at a point on my old account where I was just, I desperately needed more crowd control champions, so I decided to take a chance on him, and I was absolutely blown away by how insanely OP he is, especially for Doom Tower Heart. Like, wave clear specifically, and he's great against a handful of the bosses too. Like, he's on my Scarab King team, and he'll be on my Dark Fae team. I didn't have him the last time the Dark Fae rotation came around, but I will have him. Obviously, I have him now. So next time we fight Dark Fae, he will 100% be on my Dark Fae team. Yeah, speed farming is fun just because of how efficient it is time-wise, but if you can throw some food in there, then it massively increases your energy efficiency. For sure. It's a really nice quality of life to be able to just get that passive free value. And the runs are still pretty quick. It's not like a speed run, but it's like a 2-minute run. It's not that bad. Oh, okay. Any stun set with speed in the substats I'm going to keep. Dark Iron's been really big too. Is there something else I was gonna... Oh, right, Dungeon Divers. Champ Training. Oh, because we did that. Yeah, sure. I'm glad I showcased that spider round. We got some free gems out of it. Um, whole refill's worth. Where's Dungeon Divers? This ends in 4 hours. I would have liked to pick this up, but I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to. I wouldn't mind spending gems just because I do want the Savage gear. Actually, maybe I'll just try to finish. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have time to finish Dungeon Divers tonight. I'm not gonna like commit to going for it, but if you know, I'm not. I don't have anything else to do until Live Arena starts. Yeah, it's definitely a very good set, but the way I see it is if you want a champion to be consistent and effective in a stun set, you need them to take lots of turns. So I'm only keeping stun set pieces that have speed in the substats. Because like, what good is a potato 120 speed champion if, in a stun set? You know, like if they only get one turn for every, I don't know, it just doesn't seem worth it. Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get it. It's a high value set, but it's not worth, you know, if they're not taking turns, they're not getting stuns, so they got to be going fast. So even if like it's got speed, but like the secondary stat or the set, you know, if it's like an epic piece, if it's like speed with like flat attack and flat HP or something, like I'll still keep it because it can triple roll speed. Two is better than one, yeah. That's true. Because like on my old account when I got Lydia, I remember like I had like one really fast stun set. I think on average, it obviously depended on the champion's base stats, but I could usually get the champion to like 220 speed, and I would just move that stun set around from faction to faction. Like just to get Lydia. I didn't do it every day for like regular farming because you don't need a 3-star if you're just farming glyphs. But to get Lydia, you have to 3-star all the stages. So I was moving that one my best stun set around. Hey, what's up, Reborn? Welcome. What's the viewer at? We're at looks like 10 concurrent right now. I think Artek can probably solo Spider, if I'm being honest. Uh, actually, since we're not really doing much, after this run, I'll show you my Artek build on my old account. Actually, I might be able to bring it up right now. Yeah, I can bring it up on BlueStacks. If the stream gets laggy for a second, it's because I'm launching BlueStacks, so forgive me. It might be a little taxing on the PC. Looks like we're doing okay. We're not dropping any frames. Okay, cool. So last time, and my Artak's in a a lifesteal build too. So he solos like Spider 5 hard or something like that in lifesteal. It's kind of insane. It's still loading. All right, we're in. Okay, so this is my old account. I don't play on this account that much anymore. Oh, okay. I don't feel like messing with that. Alright, what are we doing? Spider... What affinity is Artak? Is he magic? I thought I had a Artak solo team set up. I guess not. Okay. Might have deleted it to make room. Artak. Okay. And then I think I want him to... What is it? It's... Placing HP burn. This one activates. So I think I want to do... First choice, so he places it. Or maybe... I want him to go like A3, A1, A2. I guess the only way to do that would be to... do it like this. So he's going to open with the A2, but then he goes into the A3, has a chance to extend the duration, and then ignites it. So let's just do that. And we'll throw some, we'll throw some food in here too real quick. Okay, I'm pretty sure he can do this. It's possible June, but it would probably take a very long time. I know he can do Ice Golem hard in this build too, like up to stage 5. Maybe even 7, I don't remember. I recently looked at it for somebody, I don't remember. It was a few months ago. He's also in counterattack accessories. Maybe that wasn't the right setup. Maybe now we're cooking. Okay. I don't know. I don't remember. I had a setup that worked, but I deleted it, I guess, to make room, but... Oh, okay. Cool. This may not have been the right setup. I don't remember how I had him set up. But I know he could do it. Maybe I just try it again on full auto and just see what happens. I mean, he's kind of doing it. This is taking a long time, but the point of the story is Artak should be able to solo Spider. You shouldn't need an extra person in there to help him. Like, he shouldn't need it. You shouldn't have to do a duo setup. He should be able to solo it. Yeah, it might be open with A3. I don't remember. Speed and resistance, that's a good one. I'll keep that. HP and accuracy. It's not terrible. I really want to just keep pieces of speed, if I'm being honest. No, he doesn't have War Master. That particular build that I was showing, he needed more resistance, so I took the tier 6 resistance mastery to get his resistance where it needed to be to resist all the nasties from the you know, you don't want him to get stunned and crowd controlled and, you know, get decreased defense or heal reduction, like stuff like that. Like all those nasty debuffs can ruin a solo run. So I needed this, based on like just the way my gear and my Great Hall was, I had to take the resistance mastery. So you could absolutely take War Master and it could speed those things up, but I just didn't. I'm kind of curious now. Like I want to look. I know I showed it for Wolf in my Discord a while back. I wonder if I could find the post. Search for our attack, maybe? Okay, this is my... Okay. Okay, yeah. This is it. Alright, I found it. Okay, so this is his lifesteal build. So he's got 83,000 HP, 2,400 defense, 228 speed, so 329 resist, and then 282 accuracy. He soloed Spider 20 in a minute 40. Ice Golem, this is stage 5 hard. He did it in that build. So it's Spider's Den hard 1. And then I just like, oh, he can do... Yeah, so he does do stage 5 in that build in about 2 minutes. I just don't remember what the setup was. So yeah, he can do it. I'm going to keep that. I want a fast shield set. For my Doom Screech when I get around to building him. I'll probably... I don't want to start like 6-starring just random champions until I know for sure there's like a team I'm going to build for them. / focus on their faction for faction wars. Yeah, there was lifesteal build, but I did not have War Master. If you can get the stats so you don't need the mastery for resistance, you can absolutely take War Master. It works in regen too. All my good regen was already occupied by other champions on my account, so I just wanted to... I assumed lifesteal would work, and I wanted to test it out, and it worked just fine, so yeah. Yeah, Cursed isn't bad, especially since he does the AoE on all 3 attacks. Yeah, he's a super hard dungeon carry, man. I mean, that was a pretty decent build. Like, that was my best lifesteal gear. But to be fair, I didn't farm or keep a lot of lifesteal gear on that account. I was just, you know, of the stuff that I kept, that was the best that I had. I just think it's funny because, like, it's been a few months now, but there was this one person that was watching one of my live streams and telling me that, like, the only way to build solo champions was in regen. I was like, well, not necessarily. Sometimes you could do it in lifesteal. And he just kept arguing with me. I'm like, well, there's the proof. Artak in lifesteal can solo hard mode dungeons, so... I think it depends on what stage your account is at and what stage of Hydra you're fighting, but yeah, I mean it's really hard to say. Every account is different. Every roster is different. You know, if you're like, I don't know. I would say if you're like early to mid game, then getting a solo dungeon champion built is like massive because it helps you get more 6 stars faster while also farming gear. But if you're already like pretty much properly set up in the end game and your focus is Hydra, then absolutely. I think it just depends on where you're at. Does a Kentum solo it? I've never... Actually, I think I vaguely recall seeing Saf do some Akentum solo stuff. Never mind. Yeah, because of the way his passive works with Hex and Lifesteal. Yeah. I think you're right. Man, Hydra is going to be a headache on this account, man. Like, I can consistently one key the bottom chest of normal, which is, at the moment, all I care about. I'm just trying to get my Mithrala fragments. But if I can get to a point where I can do the bottom chest of hard, that would be spectacular. Yeah, I use a Kent on that old account that I just showed you guys. I use a Kentum on my Spider 10 hard farm team. That's a fair assumption, Reborn. I don't know. I definitely want speed boots for stun sets. I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick. I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. Welcome back, me. I don't know why my camera's laggy, but it's really bothering me. I'm gonna reset it real quick. I know it's not like super laggy, but it's just enough to annoy me. I wonder if you've got any other champions who could solo for you. I think you'd be surprised how many good solo champions there are. No, I did not. Like, I don't know if you've got Drexthar or not, but he can solo Dragon 20 pretty nicely. I guess if you're late game, you probably don't want to be farming stage 20. Oh, Eric's can solo Spider 10 hard? I didn't know that. I don't even have Eric's on that other account yet. What's really funny is I've been playing Raid Shadow Legends since like March of 2020. Currently, so like 4.5 years, give or take. I've never summoned Eric's on any accounts. Because I just keep starting the game over on different accounts. And to be fair, I have my reasons, and it's kind of a long story, but... So I had my... I'll go ahead and tell the story. Why not? I had my initial first account, and I had spent a fair amount on that account. I wasn't like a huge whale by Raid Shadow Legends standards, but... You know... What is expensive is subjective person to person. It depends on how much money you make, what your budget is, you know. I was spending more than what was probably comfortable for me to spend at my current income level. So, I was spending a lot. Like subjectively to me, it was a lot of money. And I would buy ancient shards every time they came on sale. Because to me, that was just the best value. I just valued them more highly than sacreds because of the price point. And also, you get lots of chickens even if you don't pull something good. So spending. This is before the mercy system too, by the way. So I was probably 4 months into the game before I got my first legendary. And it was Tila Gourmet, who at the time was trash. So I was really bummed out and depressed. And back then, there were no advanced quests. So you didn't get that extra energy refill every day, and there was just much less to do in the game. There was no tag arena, none of that stuff. So, like, once your energy was spent, there was nothing else to do. So what a lot of people did back then is they would have alt accounts. And still a lot of people do alt accounts these days, but it was especially true back then. Like, everybody had an alt account, so they can just keep playing Raid. So I had this free-to-play alt account on that I started, just so I could have extra stuff to do when I ran out of energy on my main account. And on that alt account, I pulled Altan from my fourth... It's either my fourth Ancient Shard, it was like my 4th day playing the game. Something like that. Like really early on I pulled Altan. And Altan was one of my most wanted champions on my old account, at my first account that I was playing. Because back then there was no Iron Brago, and there was no speed tunes, there were no unkillable teams, none of this stuff existed yet. So it was basically just Altan was the man. So I was like, all right, this old account I spent 4 months playing the game and have nothing to show for it but a Tila Gore main. That account is dead to me. This is my new main account. And then on day 13, so I was one day away from getting Jizzo. I do a 10 pull on Ancient Shards. And I pulled Queen Eva. And again, this was before her nerf. And a lot of people would say she was trash back then. But she enabled me to farm 12-3 Brutal campaign way before I would have been able to do otherwise with, just my starter champion. Not only that, but she would do enough damage on Spider 12 that she could one-shot all the Spiderlings. And if you didn't know, her A3 also has a 20% turn meter reduction on it. So she would one-shot all the Spiderlings and reduce the main spider's turn meter by 20%. And because she killed the Spiderlings, that skill would reset. So she would just one-shot the Spiderlings, one-shot the Spiderlings, one-shot the Spiderlings, while simultaneously turn meter controlling the boss. So she was basically soloing Spider 12, which allowed me to farm accessories for my first Nightmare Clan boss team. Queen Eva was instrumental in the progression of that account. Even though she was kind of a meme back then, she was big for a brand new account. She was huge. And then I just played on that account for a really long time. And then I was still spending on that account, and eventually I got sick and tired of being made to feel like the money that I was spending, I wasn't getting value for that money, so I rage quit the game and decided to go free-to-play. So I started a new free-to-play account around the time the Ninja came out. I've seen a few Galen Pact accounts, yeah. I've always wanted, for a very long time, I've liked the idea of a rares only plus, where I'm only using rares as well as permanently free champions. Champions who are free and permanently available to all players. I've wanted to do something like that for a long time, but it's very taxing on your time to start a new account. And I just didn't want to play 2 accounts. So the last time that I quit playing the game, I thought I was done for good, but I was feeling nostalgic, and I was like, you know what? If I'm ever going to do this Rares Only Plus, now's the time. I'm not playing the game, I'm not going to miss playing on my old account. I'll go ahead and start this new account now. That way I can give it my undivided attention. I'll keep these for now. Only because their defense main stat, it could potentially be okay on Syl. I still don't know what 5 pieces of gear I'm going to put on her. Dude, I could not handle more than 1 account. At least these days. I just don't care to... Epic Champions only. It's so annoying how these tournaments overlap. It's if I want to farm for Savage Gear, I miss out on the opportunity to do this. It's kind of annoying. I don't really care about the fusion because I'm not doing any temporary fusions on this account as part of my challenge. Three hours left. I don't mind picking up fragments because I have the potential to convert them into High Mother Maud, who does fall within the parameters of my challenge. Can I convert this yet? No? That's stupid. Oh, Champ Fort is really nice too, yeah. I feel like he'd be kind of slow though. Oh yeah, Blue Stacks is nice. The problem for me though is... my day job, I work in a factory, and I don't have access to a PC, so I just don't have the luxury of BlueStacks, so I would only be able to BlueStacks on the weekends when I have time to play on the PC. I'm usually just playing on my phone, if I'm being honest. Holy moly, dude. You fused our mons on all 4 accounts. That's insane. I hate fusions. I haven't done the last fusion I did was Nishak, and it was such an intense grind. It wore me out, and that was actually like fusion fatigue is what caused me to quit the game after Nishak. Like I was ready to do the Pythion fusion. I thought I was ready anyway, and then as soon as that fusion started, the first tournament for the Pythion fusion was Ice Golem, and just the thought of farming Ice Golem for like 2 or 3 days straight made me sick to my stomach. I was like, I don't want to farm Ice Golem. Don't make me farm. I don't want to do this. So I just quit playing the game. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this right now. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I used to play 2 accounts simultaneously. So when I said I started the Ninja account, that started off as a free-to-play alternate account. Because I was seeing like Reddit posts and people in the YouTube comments talking about how bad Ninja was going to be, and I was like, you guys are insane. So just to satisfy my own curiosity and to prove to myself that I wasn't the crazy one, I started a new account, a new free-to-play alt account, when Ninja came out, so I could see how good he would be for progression, and turns out he was insane, just as I suspected he would be. Yeah, so I had that account, and then when I quit playing on my main account, when I decided to come back, I was like, all right, I'm done spending money on this game. I'm gonna play the free-to-play account. So that free-to-play Ninja alt account that I made became my new main account, and that was the account I started making content on when I first got into YouTube on this for Raid Shadow Legends YouTube. Hey, what's up, Mitty? We're doing good. How are you? Just rage quit. That name is so relatable. Yeah, Fire Knight is definitely a tough one. And 19... Now, have you beat 19 and you're struggling to farm 20? Because I feel like getting over the hump of stage 19 is hard because of the affinity. Because most of the good early game turn meter champions are magic affinity, so it can be tough. Yeah, it's... Every time a new free champion, doesn't matter who the champion is, if it's a free champion, people who have spent a lot of money on the game will automatically trash talk the champion because they want the champion to be bad. So they don't feel like they wasted their money buying all these crazy, they don't want to feel like they've wasted their money on shards. So because they're high on copium, they will talk down every free champion because they're delusional. But no, it doesn't matter what the champion is, there's always haters every time, and there were plenty of people who thought Ninja was going to be bad. They won't admit it now, of course, because everybody wants to be the guy who knew that Ninja was good. Ooh, okay. Well, once you beat it once, you never have to go back again. So if you beat 19, here, let me pull up a link to my Discord. And if you want to post a picture of your roster in the Raid Help Center tab, either myself or another fellow member of my community can maybe try to help you get a Fire Knight team together. Fire Knight 20. Okay, so here's a link to my Discord. We'll try to help you out. And if you want, we could even do it on stream. If you're not shy, just let me know. Since we're farming Fire Knight, we can. I'll just put my auto battles on in the background, and we can help you with your Fire Knight team. Yeah, Ostraddle is pretty good. I am firmly of the opinion that if you have the resources to complete a fusion, and completing the fusion won't cause you too much emotional stress, you should complete the fusion, whether everyone says it's good or not. Because everybody's account is different, and you never know when a new piece of content is going to drop, where that champion will be exceptional, and you'll be thinking to yourself, man, if only I had fused that champion. Yeah, Wixwell is another one that was really good. So I generally try to encourage people to do them. If you know, obviously, don't kill yourself. There's no champion in this game that's worth stressing yourself out about. Like, it's a game. At the end of the day, it's just a game. So don't kill yourself over it. But if you can do it comfortably, and doing so, you know, if you have the time, you have the resources, you should absolutely do every fusion. With that said, though, caveat time. There isn't a single fusion that, if you miss them, now your account is ruined. It's not how it works. Like, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to teach with this series, the free-to-play Rares Only Plus. I'm not doing any temporary fusions. I'm only doing obtaining the free, permanently available champions, like Drexthar, Yakarl, you know, Yannicka, etc. And I want to show people how to beat the game without relying on epic or legendary shard pulls, or without relying on any temporary fusions. Okay, I think Just Rage Quit is going to take me up on my offer. I see someone else posted it. Unfortunately, they posted right before I started streaming, so I was unable to look at it. Okay. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at my Discord. Somebody's having a bit of trouble on Ultra Nightmare, but they say they've got Martyr. I'm sure they could. Yeah, I'm sure there's something we could do there. Okay, it looks like Wolf helped him out. Wolf Dog, if you're watching, thank you for helping me help them. I told them that if they wanted to post a screenshot of the roster in the Discord, we could help them build a Fire Knight 20 team. And thank you for helping Forrest in the Discord, by the way. I appreciate your help. I'm sure they appreciate your help too. Yeah, good recommendation. I didn't look at the picture of the roster that they posted. I was just reading what they had written. So I was like, they said that they had Martyr, so instantly that's where my headspace was. But they've got Tyrant too. But yeah, if they could just build a quick and dirty 2 key, that's usually worth it. But yeah, I see. I'm looking at the screenshot now, and they do have Man-Eater, so that's really good. Aha, okay. Once this runs over, I'm going to buy a bunch of energy with gems and get some multi-battles running, and then we'll look at this. Actually, I just realized something. My weekly quests just reset. So we can just take this energy. Can I rank 4 a champion? Real quick. Spirit Affinity, ideally. Okay. Alright, cool. So we'll get these. And then we will get like 2 more refills. Just to make sure we got enough. Okay. Time for some... This is how I play Raid when I'm at work. I'll have Raid going, and then I'll be watching, like, you know, Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever, YouTube. Okay, so you got a very impressive roster here. So if you're struggling, oh my gosh, if you're struggling on 20, I would assume it's a gear issue, not a roster issue. So it might just be that. Or maybe it's just like a team composition issue. Let's see. I'm just looking at all your options here. I like Vizix, because she helps you get to the waves, and she deals with the turn meter on the boss. Yakarl the Scourge for the same reason. He can solo the boss's turn meter if you have him with, like, a little over 200 speed. Haikatoon is massive for Fire Knight, but you don't. You've got, so I guess Nekmothar would be for the same reason. So he's like Haikatoon plus kind of. Deacon is awesome. Yeah, there's no way you won't be able to do this. Okay, so let's just think about the. Yakarl can solo the turn meter, so I think Yakarl for sure. And then Nekmothar for your speed or a lead and turn meter boosting stuff. And then from there, it's how fast can you kill the waves. If you bring in Deacon for decreased defense, then potentially Rathalos for AoE damage dealer. Especially, I'm just looking for like an HP burn, AoE HP burns to like enable him to hit harder. I don't know what she does. Oh, Mordecai. So Mordecai to do the AoE burns and set up Rathalos to just smash. That could be it. Okay, that's not terrible. I'd like to see a little bit more speed. But he's good on accuracy. This is enough accuracy to do like Doom Tower hard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it's hard to tell for certain without looking at each individual build, but I'm assuming that Nekmothar is your like speed aura lead and turn meter booster. And then actually, does he do AoE damage? I don't know. But Nekmothar, Yakarl the Scourge. Oh, he does AoE burns too, doesn't he? Is that Skrank? He's already built. I think it's probably a shorter cooldown too. I don't have his kit memorized. I've never played with him before, but Nekmothar, Yakarl the Scourge, Skrank, Rathalos, and Deacon. Where's Deacon at? I saw him earlier. Level 50. Even at level 50, he'll still work as long as you just get him with like 200 accuracy. This should 100% do stage 20. Oh, that's the issue. Okay. Okay, I've got a video. I'm gonna link you a video to watch. Here. Okay. This video right here, it's called The Fundamentals of Gearing in Raid Shadow Legends. That video right there that I just linked, it will teach you how to gear your champions. I specifically to put an emphasis on speed. Um, so hold on, let's take a break from the multi battles for a second. So whenever you're gearing, like, Nekmothar is a insanely powerful turn meter manipulation champion. He's doing turn meter boost that pushes your team forward, so they can take more turns relative to the enemy team. I forget exactly what his kit does, but I know he does that. He does Leech, which gives you heal. But anytime you have a champion, like whether it's Haikatoon or Lady Kimmy, Arbiter, Nekmothar, Lysandra, these types of like speed demon champions, Ostrid, like, you want them fast, like 250 to 300 speed. That's #1 priority. And if they have debuffs to land or turn meter reduction in their kit, then ideally you want accuracy as well. Like, Nekmothar built really fast. Like, right now I'm using, well, except for this specific team, but pretty much everywhere in the game I've been using my Haikatoon as my speed champion. Nekmothar is like a Super Saiyan version of Haikatoon. Like, if you build them with a good enough speed, they will just carry you so far. It's insane, like, how much value speed champions have in this game. Oh, Zenogre? Okay, yeah, a lot of the newer champions I haven't taken the time to learn. I recognize them, but I haven't, because I'm not using them on this account, I haven't committed the brain power to memorizing their kits. Just because I've only got so much brain juice to spare. Okay. Let me look at Nekmothar real quick after I sort through these. I forget exactly what his kit does. I know he does Leech and like turn meter boosts and all kinds of good stuff. Okay. So Nekmothar. So first of all, he's got this all battles, speed in all battles by 19% aura. Anytime you could have the option to have a speed aura on your team, you should do so. Because this aura gives 19% of everybody's base speed on top of what, so like, if a champion has 104 base speed, they get 19% more speed on top of that added to their build. So across 5 champions, that's like an extra 100 speed spread across your team. It's an immense amount of value. So always do a speed aura if you can. Like 99% of the time, it's correct to do a speed aura if you can. So he does increased speed by 30% and a 30% turn meter boost, and then he takes an extra turn. So instead of a 4-turn cooldown, it's effectively a 3-turn because he takes an extra turn. And then he attacks all enemies and places decreased speed and leech. So not only is he speeding your team up, he's slowing the enemy team down by 30%. That gives you a massive advantage. And he does AoE decrease attack on the A1. Like, Nekmothar is insane, but if you build him fast, he will like hard carry you everywhere. Like, on my account, I'm using Haikatoon for that. So very similar. She's got the 19% speed aura. I only get a 15% turn meter boost and a 30%. So Nekmothar's turn meter boost is twice as good as my Haikatoon's. Haikatoon has an AoE turn meter reduction. I'm inclined to believe that Nekmothar's AoE decreased speed is a little bit better. And then I have the A1 decreased speed, but you've got the AoE. They're very similar. You can kind of see a lot of the similarities, but Nekmothar is like supercharged Haikatoon. So what you want to do is you want to build him like at least minimum like 250 speed, but like the more speed you can get, the better. But also because he has debuffs to place in his kit, you want to try to get him with high accuracy, like 200 to 250 accuracy. So if you have good pieces of perception set gear, because it gives you speed and accuracy, and then you want to look for speed and accuracy in the substats. So something like this, like 10 speed, 20 accuracy, and a perception set, that'd be really good for your Nekmothar. And you always want to look for speed main stat on the boots. But dude, The team that I recommended should, I mean, that should be a really fast, really easy Fire Knight 20 team. Oh, really? 30% speed on dungeons. Let's look at, okay. Yeah. She kind of was she had come out, I started playing the game again. I came back to the game after she had already come out. So there's a lot of champions. What faction is she from? There's a lot of champions that were released in my time not playing the game who I surely it's not Bannerlords, right? Zenogre Blade Master. Is it Bannerlords? Did I just overlook it? Oh well, I Shadowkin. Okay, there she is. Yeah, that's a really good dungeon aura. Let's see. Decrease attack, leech. I mean, that's not bad for Fire Knight. The weekend's good. I still prefer Nekmothar, honestly. Like, she's not bad, don't get me wrong. And the 4-hitter is really nice for getting the shield down. This would be better for, like, stage 25. When you gotta do 25 hits to knock the shield down. But maybe, actually, I didn't take into account shield hits when I was looking at that team. I was basically just looking for turn meter and hold on. Let me pull up the Discord again. Maybe that's better. I mean, if they've already got like Nekmothar booked and stuff. Yeah, I'm noticing a very consistent lack of speed in your champion builds. That's like, so yeah, watch that video. Take it to heart. Because everything that I suggest and recommend in that video is what I apply to this account. So it's not just like empty advice. Like, I'm following my own advice, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I forgot to think about shield hits. So maybe Zenogre's... Actually, Deacon does a 2-hitter A1. Yakarl does a 2-hitter A1, so there's 4 hits right off the bat. I think Nikmo has 1. Who else did we say? Skrank? I don't know about Skrank. So that's at least 1, and then Rathalos is 1. So that's 7. So as long as you're fast enough to take 2 turns, like if your Nekmo's like, you know, 250 speed or higher, he should be able to get your team rolling fast enough to knock that shield down. Yeah, one issue with Zenogre, though, is she is weak affinity, which isn't a huge deal, to be fair. With Yakarl to crowd control, and like, also if you have Deacon and Nekmo to like, it shouldn't matter. Like, as long as you have your champions all built with enough speed and accuracy. Skrank a single hit? Okay. I mean, there's a million viable combinations you could use. Like, you know, I'm just throwing out what stood out to me right off the bat. Honestly, the best thing to do is just trial and error. But the first thing you need to work on is getting your champions geared to like the right speeds. One of the things I mentioned in that video that I linked is speed is one of the most powerful stats in the game. And in my opinion, it is the most powerful stat. Because once you stack enough speed, you can take more than 1 turn for every turn your opponent takes. So imagine you and I are playing a game of chess. And in that game of chess, I'm allowed to take 2 turns for every 1 turn that you take. just imagine how unfair and lopsided that game of chess would be. When you start stacking speed on your champions and you have a really good turn meter booster, you can do that in Raid, where you're taking 2 turns for every 1 turn the enemies are taking. It's like, speed is insanely powerful in this game. It's the best stat, if I'm being perfectly honest. Yeah, I whenever I'm gearing a champion, I aim for 200 speed. I'm not always able to hit 200 speed, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, how much speed can I get in this champion? Like, I think the slowest ally I have on this team is Soulbond Bowyer, and she's 190. Maybe my War Maiden might be slower because I stole some gear from her to gear some other champions. She might be closer to like 170. Like 170 is like the bare minimum for any champion. You don't want any of your champions to be slower than like 170. Yeah, if you've got, yeah, most enemies that you, whatever you see a champion's base speed is in the index, that's how fast they are in the dungeons usually. So if you've got like a good speed aura, and the only reason I'm not using a speed aura is because I don't have one for this team. Arbiter's speed aura only works in arena, so I'm using an attack aura, but that's only because my champions are fast enough. Before I got Arbiter, I was using Haikatun as my speed aura lead. So basically, Arbiter came in to replace Haikatun on this team, and because Arbiter's aura doesn't work in this dungeon, I just threw Yakarl in there. I could just as easily use Soulbond, or no aura at all, honestly, and it would make that much of a difference. So, like my Drexthar right here. 224 speed. Yakarl the Scourge. 197. So he's shy. I would like him to be at least 200, but I can only do what my gears can do, right? Haikatun, she is speed tuned into my clan boss team. Ideally, she would be like 250 or more speed, but because of the the speed tune that I have on my clan boss team, she has to be 235. That's just a concession I need to make for the betterment of my account. Dark Elhain, just shy of 200 speed. Coldheart, 207 speed. Frozen Banshee, again, she's speed tuned into my clan boss team, but the speed tune requires her to be at 201 speed. So you can see 200 speed, just clan boss. I need to re-gear her a little bit faster, but she's at 195. Soulbond was the slowest on that Fire Knight team. She's 190. But if you look at my Arbiter, she's the fastest champion on my account. Right now, she's 271. So, speed. Yeah, so. That's... Even as, like, a brand new player, like literally just started playing the game 2 months ago, you should be able to get all your champions to 170. Like, when I was playing on this account, anytime I geared a champion, 170 was the minimum that I was going for. But as I've played the game longer, I get better gear. Now I'm aiming for 200 speed. And after a while, I'll be aiming for 220 speed. And then, you know, just as your gear gets better and better, you just start raising the bar higher and higher. And that's how you progress further into the game and beat harder and harder content, because your gear gets better. Yeah, so you'll just kind of have to experiment with things and see what works best. But I think once you get your gear fixed, you'll notice a massive... literally everything in the game becomes much easier. I promise. You'll just start steamrolling everything. You'll be like, how was I having so much trouble with this content? Now that I have speed, it's easy. So, hopefully this was all helpful for you. I'm rooting for you. Be sure to let me know if it works out. If you get a team rolling, I'd like to know. If there's anyone else who's struggling in Fire Knight and you need some help, don't be shy. Speak up. I'd be happy to offer some assistance. We're just hanging out. Oh, no Cold Heart is rough. I will say, having Cold Heart has made this much easier. She just does a lot of damage. I think I can. Just let's do some science. Let me take Cold Heart out of my team, just to see if I could still do this without Cold Heart. I'm positive that I could, but she does help get the shield down really easy. Trying to think of what other champions I have. I know I could use Armorger. Actually, I don't even need a turn meter champion because I have Yakarl. I could probably just throw Aethel in there, honestly. Hey, what's up, ML? Hey, you'll never guess what I just did today. I 6-starred your favorite rare. Did someone say science? Yeah. Let's just for science. It's gonna be a slower run, obviously, but let's just. Even Coffin Smasher will work. Coffin Smasher's probably in a better build. He's got good good base stats. He's on my clan boss team. Actually, let's just say don't use. All right. Science time. Paintsmith, no. Your other favorite rare. Hey, I'm glad to help. Good luck with Dungeon Divers. I know that it's probably Tolog. Yes, I 6-starred Tolog today. Yeah, I don't know if I'll finish Dungeon Divers tonight or not. I wouldn't mind finishing it, but I'm not gonna cry if I don't get it. I would like the Soul Stone, but I'm not gonna break myself going for it. Yeah, and I was thinking about the speed tune. It should be fine, because Coffin Smasher is like 224, so he's a little bit faster than Cold Heart, but you got. Oh, okay, hold on. You pulled your first Void Legendary on your Void Only account. Yes, I want to guess. Don't tell me. Um. Okay, give me a hint. Would you consider them to be like S tier, A tier, B tier? Like what? Just give me like a range. Like what tier is that legendary? And then it's funny because like your perception of what tier they should be in could differ from mine, but that at least give me like a ballpark. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. If you want get the fragments, yeah. I like the name just Rage Quit. I connect with it on a deep emotional level because of how many times I've Rage Quit Raid Shadow Legends in the last 4 years. B to A tier. Okay. A tier for your account. So B tier, B to A tier. A tier for your account. Okay. First Void Legendary, but not an S tier. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, we're doing this fine. I mean, it's obviously going to be slower because we don't have the damage from Cold Heart, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. Cold Heart is a luxury, not a necessity. Um. Hmm. I'm. Don't tell me exactly who it is, but what's not the specific faction, but what's like the category? Are they Galen Pact? Are they um like what section of 4 do they fall under? I want to say like Tuhanarok or something like that, but I don't know. There's so many that are like A tier, but like it's just that wasn't a broad enough range. So my first guess is Tuhanarok. Narrow it down for me a little bit more. Tolarian. Okay, let me look at the Tolarian. So that's the top row, right? So it wasn't. Oh no, it wouldn't be Taurus. You would have said S tier or Marichka. Okay, hold on. I'll have to look at the index. Well, it's a lot slower without Cold Heart. Well, I mean, Coffin Smasher's not built for damage, and he's all single target, so the waves are naturally going to be slower. But yeah, it's doable. She just speed things up. Alright, let's get Cold Heart back in there. That was enough science. Then I gotta reset her. Let's do opener, don't use. Opener, don't use. Okay, and then don't use this on the final boss. Another thing that Coldheart does is she has Giant Slayer, so I turn off her A2, so I get tons of Giant Slayer hits when she's not doing her Heartseeker. So that does a lot of extra damage too. Okay, Tolarian League, Void Legendary. Raglan, I'm gonna say Raglan is a maybe. Ethos would be interesting. Because you do need a campaign farmer. Ethos. Okay. I feel like Santa would be like S tier for your account for clan boss. I don't know what this guy does. He just got a buff though, right? I think he's probably pretty good. Supreme Aethel. Does she got buffed too. I feel like you would probably rate her A tier, but S tier for your account. I don't know. Let's see. Turvold? Ursiga? Okay. My first guess was to Hanrock. That was off the top of my head. But now I think I'm going to go with Raglan. First guess to Hanrock. Second guess Raglan. Third guess Ethos. Those are my three. Did I get it in my first three guesses? If not, just tell me who it is. The suspense is killing me. Ethos! Okay. Yeah, he's actually... Yeah, for your account, yeah, you needed a campaign farmer for sure. So that is really good. That was my second guess, right? It was Tuhanarok. No, that was my third guess. Tuhanarok. Well, I was going in order. The first one that occurred to me was Tuhanarok. I was like, nah, I don't know. So Tuhanarok, who was the second one I said? Someone, and then Ethos. That was my third guess. Second guess was Raglan. That was my... Alright. I got it on my third guess. Okay, we'll count it. He says well played, so I guess we're counting it. Cool. Yeah, Ethos, okay. So... Oh, you pulled Fellhound. Nice. Well, at this point, you might as well just build Ethos. You're gonna get more value, way more use out of Ethos. Like for dungeons, arena. Hell, Ethos can do Nightmare Campaign. Oh, Leorius, nice, dude. Leorius is sick. Funny enough, Ethos was the champion that made me rage quit. And that was like the last straw before I went free to play. So I was trying to get to Ultra Nightmare on my pay to win account, and I was under the impression that if I can get an ally attack champion or a counter attack champion, I can get to Ultra Nightmare. And there was going to be a 10x for Cardiel. And I was into Mercy and Voids. I needed like 30 more Voids to like guarantee pulling a legendary. And I had like 20 Void shards, and a pack went on sale for like 10. So I spent like 30 bucks. Or I don't remember how much it was. I spent money to get Void shards. I went all the way to Mercy, and I pulled a legendary, hoping it was going to be Cardiel to get the ally attack champion I so desperately wanted / needed for my roster. And I got Ethos instead, and I was infuriated. I legitimately rage quit the game. I did come back a few months later and actually build Ethos, and Ethos was insane. Like, he's actually really strong. Yeah, like he's pretty good. Now, he's not like, is he Plat Arena good? Probably not. I think he's been a little outclassed these days. But, you know, if you're if you're progressing through the game, you could use him in your standard classic arena team. You could use him in tag arena. You could use him in live arena as you're climbing the ranks. He's a decent AoE damage dealer for waves. And he's got 2 big hitting AoEs. Also, he does the big version of Weaken now, which is kind of nice. The big version of Weaken on an AoE is really hard to come by in early game. Oh, does he do AoE decreased speed? I didn't realize that. That's not bad. Yeah. Ethos does do Nightmare. I use Skull Crown on my old account for Nightmare campaign. Yeah, congrats on Ethos, man. That's huge. You needed... Who were you using? You were using Obero for campaign farming? Oh, yeah, Minotaur too, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, that's really good. Congrats, man. You were due something juicy. Oh, Basher, that's right. Okay. Golden Reaper, nice. My personal preference between Haikatoon and Golden Reaper is Haikatoon. I think she's just a better speed champion. But obviously you can't use Haikatoon because you're Void only. So yeah, Golden Reaper's great, man. That's a good one. That's actually huge. Do you have a speed aura that you could use on your account? Yeah, man. She does AoE decrease attack as well. I think there's some merit. An argument could be made that Golden Reaper is better. She does do a larger turn meter boost, if I recall correctly, and she does AoE decrease attack. But I just really like Haikatoon. Okay. Wow, do you have a Gala built? Speaking of Gala, I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 a few weeks ago. Every now and then my internet service provider will do like scheduled maintenance and our internet will go down for a night. And the time that they do it is when like most normal people are asleep, but I work night shifts, so I'm up during when I'm awake when normal people are sleeping. So my internet went out, and Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the only games I can play where you don't need an internet connection to play it. So I was just like goofing around in the character creator, and I made a Gala long braids. in the Baldur's Gate 3 uh, uh, character customization screen. What do you call it? Hero? Yeah. When you go to create your character in the character creation screen, I made Gala Longbraids. Like a female dwarf fighter. And I even had like the hair, like the buns with the braids that came down. Oh, nice. That's even better. That's a decent upgrade. Yeah, Gear Grinder is the epitome of good enough, I would say. That's one I would love to pull for Faction Wars, though. Oh! We are 1 hour away from Live Arena, guys. Where I'll finally be able to test my Arbiter, assuming she doesn't get instantly banned by all my opponents. But the good thing about having Arbiter is that it's less likely that Yakarl gets banned. The good thing about having Yakarl is maybe it's slightly less likely that Arbiter gets banned. Oh, yeah, Broadmaw would be really good on your account. Yeah. Oh! Yo. That's good. Okay, I actually have a very comparable piece that did not roll crit rate for me. It rolled crit damage, but I really wanted crit rate, obviously. It's easier to... Like, right now, I'm really struggling to get champions to 100% crit rate in crit damage gloves. Don't tell me. Say it ain't so. Oh, oh. Do I Chaos Ore this? That's so trash, dude. I got trolled so hard. I got Chaos Ore for it. Let's do a poll. To be or not to be. To be means leave it alone. Or sorry, yeah, and then not to be means Chaos Ore. Start poll. You guys like that? See what I did there? Or not to be? We'll come back to that. We'll do one more Fire Knight run and give you guys time to vote. I mean, a triple roll Savage Gear. Like, I've already... I don't know, man. 5... It's only got... Even at 6-star, it's still low rolled crit rate and crit damage. So I only have 5% on each of those rolls. Okay, everyone seemed to get confused. Let's hold on. We'll redo the poll. Okay. I'll just say I wanted to be clever with the the pun, the or. But we'll just say yeah, oops. Chaos Ore? Yes or no? All right. Sorry, I got too fancy with you guys. That was my fault. I'm sorry. Did I wake you up? I tried to back away from the microphone when I sang. But it's hard, sometimes it's hard to sing on key when you're not, you know, putting some stank on it. Sorry. I just got excited. I guess everyone's leaning towards Chaos Aura. Okay. Octua. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's. I feel I'll do one more run while this poll goes. I normally don't get that excited, but I know I've even specifically stated in the past that, you know, falling asleep to my streams actually helps my watch time metrics. So now I feel bad because I've specifically encouraged people to do that. All right, next time I feel the urge to sing, I'll turn the microphone volume down. Oh, okay. Well, I don't feel so bad now, but it does suck. I robbed you of 30 minutes of sleep. That's always my fault. Hey, what's up, Jack? Alright, looks like we're going to Chaos Aura that piece. What? So, okay, so he placed the decreased speed, but he didn't reduce the turn meter. That's what happened. So, Coldheart and Yakarl both got 3% resisted there. That's unlucky. I think Soulbond is about to... No? She must have shot it into the shield. That's annoying. Alright, we're good now. Wow, congrats on the Anax, dude. Yeah, Anax... He's a thumper, for sure. Okay, I think we're gonna Chaos Aura that piece. Yeah, okay. I mean, I've already got a 6-star attack percentage chest piece that's strictly better. Anyway, so I mean, how many attack-based champions am I gonna, you know, actually have the luxury to build? Like, this one's got 6% crit rate and 17% crit damage. This is 5 and 5, so. Alright, let's see what we get. Accuracy isn't terrible. Alright. Well, I was probably never going to use it anyway, if I'm being honest. So, it was worth a shot. My Seer on my other account is in an accuracy chest. But I don't know if I have any chance. I guess someone like a Coldheart or an Armorger who has like enemy max HP damage could potentially want an accuracy savage chest. But yeah, not that piece. That was a long ways away from being good. It was worth a shot. I mean, like I said, I already had that 6-star rare piece that was strictly better. I'm gonna build Yannicka in Savage when I get her. And then beyond that, maybe Cleopteryx. Maybe. I'll probably actually do Cleopteryx in like a high resist build. High resist, high accuracy for Hydra, so she can be my Mischief tank and my Hex champion for Hydra on one of my teams. So I don't even know if I'm going to build her in Savage. So honestly, I don't know. I'm not going to have a ton of nukers to build on this account. Yeah. Oof. Arbiter's good. Can confirm. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Hey, what's up, Dark Boon? Haven't seen you around in a while. Welcome. Now I got that Weezer song stuck in my head. Say it ain't so. Oh, oh. Doom Tower champs? Probably not in Savage. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll build Dark Elhain in Savage someday. I do have a good... What's that set that's not Savage, but it's slightly worse? The recent Forge Pass. I've got a halfway decent... Whatever that set's called. Set. Dark Moon Fair. That's what I think of every time I read it, too. The recent Forge Pass. What's that set called? Instinct. I have a decent Instinct set. Like speed and crit rate, 20% crit rate, crit damage, and then attack percentage and like. Oh wait, that's more pieces than I need. Like I got a decent 4-piece set. Or if I want like a 5-star or 6-star chest piece, I can swap this out and do like. I don't know. It depends on what I'm trying to accomplish, but speed and crit rate on the boots, so you know, and find a chest piece in the shield. Like I've got a decent 4-piece Instinct. This went way better than my bolster set. My bolster set was trash, so I was glad that I actually got some decent ones on that one. Instinct, yes. I know there's a stream delay, but yeah, that's what I was going for. Thank you. It's slightly worse depending on what you're going for, but yeah, obviously ignoring more defense is more better for damage dealers. But if my options, like right now, the Savage set that I can cobble together, it's like only 170 speed. I think with that Instinct set, I can get closer to 200. So depending on, you know, what the context is, like live arena specifically, I'm not always going to be able to go first, or like, you know, I would rather be faster with less damage than slower with more damage. It doesn't matter how much damage I can deal if I don't get a turn. You know what I'm saying? So for live arena specifically, I would favor Instinct. But for like classic arena, obviously Savage is better because I'm only picking fights where I know I'm gonna go first. So. Oh hey, take it easy, Premiercraft. I totally missed your message. Oh, he's already muted it. Well, in case you're watching this later, thank you for your support. And it was crazy on the last run. Both Yakarl and Coldheart got 3%. 3%ed. I should set up Soul Bond so right now she's set to A1 open, A2 prio, and then A3 second choice. Because I wanted to try to stagger their turn meter reduction skills, Cold Heart and Soul Bond, but now that Yakarl can just solo the turn meter regardless of what everyone else is doing, I should set her up so that she goes into the A3 after she opens with the A1. So that exact instance is not... So just in case, on the off chance, Yakarl and Coldheart both get 3% resisted, there's a chance that Soul Bond can come in clutch and drop that turn meter. I honestly don't know if that works or not, Wolf. But please don't viewbot me. You know, if you got other stuff to do and you want to just like leave it on in the background, that's one thing. But I'm not gonna encourage my viewing audience to viewbot me on multiple devices. It's kind of you to think of it, but I don't want to. Thank you, but no thank you. I'll just put it that way. Like if I was really concerned about it, I could have 3 tabs of my own stream open, but I'm not. I don't really care that much, you know. I'm just happy to be here and hang out with you guys. I really don't care about the views. I'm doing it for fun. It is more fun when there's more people watching, but you know, if it's the same person watching 4 different times, it doesn't increase the fun factor, you know. Well, whatever makes you happy, but you know, I'm not interested in artificially inflating my viewer count, if I'm being perfectly honest. Okay, now they all go like turn meter into turn meter into turn meter, so there's no way I don't keep that turn meter down. I mean, okay, technically, there could be a situation or scenario where I get absolutely utterly hosed and they all get resisted back to back to back, but it's significantly less likely. Actually, maybe I shouldn't do that, because if the odds that Coldheart and Yakarl each get resisted on that first one is pretty low, but then if Yakarl gets resisted on his second one, it's nice to have Soul Bond as the backup. Maybe I should switch it back to how it was. That was just like a fluke. I don't think I should... I think I should try to prepare for if Yakarl gets... It's so unlikely that they both get resisted that I should... Oops, not that. I should prepare for what's more likely is Yakarl getting resisted on his second attack, his second attempt to reduce the turn meter. So this is like the contingency for that. No, I haven't, Mike. Thank you for asking. Let's look at the survey. Because as it stands now, I cannot hit Ultra Nightmare when it goes Force. I just can't. If I wasn't adhering to my challenge, I could build one of the 3 Feigns that I pulled, and it wouldn't be an issue. But because I'm doing this Rares Only Plus, I can't build Feign, and therefore don't really have a good way of dealing. I mean, I built Yaga, but his gear is bad. He's just in like the leftover crap. I need to farm more Guardian so I can actually get Yaga built for this. But let's look at the survey. So the majority of people are encouraging me to stick with Ultra Nightmare. I would really, really like to free up this gear for my Arbiter. I can get my Arbiter to 300 speed, which for live arena would be really, really big for my level of account, I think. And I would also be able to put more speed into my High Katoon, so when my Arbiter gets banned, my High Katoon can still help me go first. I don't think I'm assuming a lot of people didn't take live arena into account when they voted. I think they're just thinking like in general terms. Because in classic arena, I'm only farming one-man defenses regardless, so it doesn't really matter how fast my Arbiter is. But for live arena, it kind of makes a difference. So I don't know. I still haven't made up my mind. I've been farming Ultra Nightmare. Or attempting to. I think it went forced the last 2 days. So, I don't know. I still haven't made up my mind. It's still something I'm thinking about. But like today, I didn't... What I really need to do is wait and see. My clan kills Ultra Nightmare so fast. We got 250 million, 150 million, 130 million, 130... Like, Ultra Nightmare gets knocked down below 50% inside like the first hour. So what I really need to do is wait to see if it goes force, and if it doesn't go force, then start putting my keys in. What I did today was I made the mistake. I got one key in on void, and then it got knocked into force, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. I'll do my second key on Nightmare. But then Nightmare got knocked into force. Luckily, I was able to 3-key it still, even though it went force. So all 3 keys against force, I was barely like 39.17, and I got 39.65. So I still 3-keyed Nightmare today. But it would be nice to have the 4th key ready in case Nightmare goes force and I need all 4 keys. So, yeah, I think I just need to just wait it out and see if Ultra Nightmare goes force or not. But yeah, like my Yaga has Guardian set gear on, but he doesn't have masteries, and he's still like level 16. The gear isn't leveled up. You know, like, I do want to see if he can do the job on the days it does go force, but he's just not ready yet. He doesn't have masteries, and I do want to get masteries for him anyway because he is going to be my damage dealer for Faction Wars. So as your damage dealer, you do want damage masteries. Like, it will help you deal more damage. I think damage dealers and champions who are in stun sets and will require fearsome presence, those are really the only 2 types of champions you need masteries on for Faction Wars. And there are going to be plenty of damage dealers who don't need masteries to deal enough damage to beat Faction Wars. But since I plan to use him to substitute into my clan boss team when it goes force, I might as well, you know, get War Master on him anyway. Yeah, I've got a plan. So I still need to gear him. I haven't... The moment I get stuck on and cannot beat a level of Magma Dragon is the moment I will actually build my Sentinel. That's the main reason why I 6-starred him. But right now I'm working on Skinwalkers Faction Wars. Because, A, I think I can beat it with the champions I have. So that's a big part. That's big number 1. Number 2, the champions that I'm building for Faction Wars will help me in a number of secret rooms. Like, Gnarlhorn and Tolog can each be used in tandem, and not only the Skinwalker only secret room, but the HP champion only secret room, and the Galen Pack secret room, and also any secret room where I need rares. But there's a Force only secret room. Like, I don't know, but it just makes sense to me to focus this faction because it's not super hard. Like, it's challenging. They're all challenging to some extent, but I think I can do it with the champions I have. That's why I've chosen to focus Skinwalkers next. Yeah, I've done a ton of Fire Knight tonight. I don't know if I'll get it. I mean, again, I wasn't gonna try to kill myself over it, but and I do want to spend lots of energy farming Savage anyway. And even if I don't get the Savage, like, you know, regen, shield set, stun set, like, it's just a good dungeon to farm. The live arena starts in about 40 minutes, give or take. So I'm just going to keep farming Fire Knight until live arena starts. And if I happen to complete Faction Wars, then I happen to... Or not Faction Wars, Dungeon Divers, then I happen to do it. If not, then I guess not. It'll be okay either way. A lot of them are completely different. Here, I've got on my community Discord page, in the Raid Help Center channel, I have pinned a little chart that I made. That shows all the secret rooms. Move my head out of the way. So this is normal. Oh, this is normal, and this is hard. So you can see, like, secret room 1, rotation 1, secret room 1 on normal is just rare champions. But you go over to secret room 1 on hard, it's epic. So you have rare, 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 and then you have epic, epic, epic. Also, you have Lizardman epic. This one's going to be really challenging. Because right now I have Jizzo, and I will be able to get Broadmaw. I could potentially do like 4 Broadmaw and 4 Broadmaw and Jizzo, but I don't know if it's worth it just to do that one secret room. But the Skinwalker champions that I'm building will be able to be used here. For Skinwalkers, they'll be able to use here in the Tolarian Alliance. The HP Tolog and Gnarhorn and Sentinel will be able to be used in this HP secret room. I already said Galen Pack, I think. Oh, no, not... Oh, it's Galen Pack, not Tolarian Alliance. Sorry, that was a mistake. I meant Galen Pack here. What other ones? The HP one, I already said that, but I mean, both HP ones, really. Right now, all I have is Coffin Smasher, and he can't solo them. So this will be a huge boon. So they'll be able to use... I will be able to use Tolog and Gnarhorn on both of these secret rooms, which is big. I think Drexthar just solos this one, so that's not a huge deal. I don't know. So I'm kind of just trying to min-max, but I also don't want to just... I don't just want to level up random champions, like, scattered across and not be able to, like, make significant progress in one area or another, which is why I'm focusing Skinwalkers Faction Wars. Like, it's like, if I build these 5 champions, I will be able to make progress, in like, meaningful progress in a specific faction. Like, I'm focusing something, building a specific team for this one purpose, and then a side effect of building those champions are, like, you know, laterally, they will also be able to help me in multiple secret rooms, which will help me get Dark Kale faster. I am about a week and a half away from Seal of the Drake, so just under 6 months. But I actually built... I made that little spreadsheet thing. It's difficult to call it a spreadsheet because it's just like a list of things. But I made that on my last account when I decided it was time to push Faction Wars, because I wanted to do exactly the same thing. Like, which Faction Wars champions can I build that will also give me the most value in secret rooms as well? So... I'm using that chart to help me decide, like, which, you know, how much. I'm trying to min-max the value. I get from every champion that I build from here on out. Well, thank you, thank you. I mean, I've been playing this game for over 4 years, so I do have a wealth of knowledge. And my last account was free to play. Not my first account, but the last account I played on was free to play. And I did get Lydia. I pretty much beat the game on that account. That was before Centranos came out, so I haven't really looked at Centranos that much. I'm still kind of a Centranos noob, if I'm being perfectly honest. But it'll be fun to explore that content on this account for the first time. Let's just keep farming Fire Knight. But right now I'm stuck on Doom Tower Hard Wave because, like, every enemy in that wave does counterattacks, and I don't have enough crowd control to fully lock them down, nor do I have enough damage to just instantly nuke them down either. So whenever you don't have enough damage to just instantly murk them, the next best thing is to crowd control them and just kind of kill them slowly over time. And that's not just for Doom Tower waves, that's like every piece of content. Like, if I really wanted to, I could probably do stage 25 of Fire Knight, just because of how powerful of a crowd control champion Yakarl the Scourge is. Like, every champion on this team could be like level 40 and it wouldn't matter, just because no one's getting attacked. I mean, there's a few instances where somebody slips through the cracks, but for the most part, like, just no one gets a turn. On the enemy team, anyway. I've actually got a live stream where I got my Lydia live. If you want to watch that on my old account, I could link that for you. I think I did, like, so when you quit playing the game for a long time and then you come back, you get these things called like revival quests or revival missions, whatever they're called. And one of the rewards for completing them is you get to unlock all factions for Faction Wars for 24 hours. So what I did was, I waited until I was ready to... I waited until I was in a position where I thought I can get Lydia. And then I unlocked all the Faction Wars factions, all in one go. And I did it live on a live stream. Okay, so something... So just a disclaimer. I was having some issues with my microphone at the start of this stream, so if you watch it, you can just, like, fast forward for, like, the first 30 minutes, and eventually I get it figured out. But I was having some sound issues. That's, you know, sometimes when you're live streaming, you have issues. But I was having some technical difficulties with my microphone, so, like, the first 30 minutes of that, you can't really hear what I'm saying. But if you want to check that out, that's when I got my Lydia. Yeah, that's kind of the way I approached Faction Wars and Secret Rooms 2, Jack, was like on that account specifically. I just kind of, as I built more champions, I just kind of progressed in those areas naturally, like on the side. This is the first ever account where I'm actively building champions to try to beat Secret Rooms, because I really want to get Dark Gale as fast as possible. And also, if I can get Lydia, that would just be awesome, right? Like, I wanna put a rush on Lydia. I think she will be massive for my account. And if I can get Lydia on this account, then that means anybody can get Lydia. So I think it's just, there's a lot of value in me trying to get her. Like, going for her aggressively. Like, for my own sake and for the sake of others as well. CT. Who's CT? Max CT. Or is it CT? Is that a abbreviation for a champion, or is that? But to answer your question, on what my last faction was, champion training. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I got you. Good job. Get that Lego book, son. I think it was the ones that were giving me the most trouble were like Lizardmen. Bannerlords, which I don't know. I think Lizardman was one of the last ones that I did. I like any faction that has the boss called the Duelist is going to be particularly difficult. I know I say it all the time, but not everybody who was watching now watches every other live stream, so I'm just going to go over it again. The Duelist is the boss, the Faction Wars boss, who has damage that scales off the target's max HP, and his attack ignores 100% of the target's defense. So that boss in particular is extremely difficult to beat. The only way to really do it is A, have revivers, and B, have ally protection, or strengthen, or shields, or some sort of damage mitigation other than increasing your HP and defense, because the damage scales off your HP and he ignores your defense. So you need some form of damage reduction beyond the normal means, which is more HP and more defense. But not every faction has revivers or ally protectors in the rare slot, so I'm going to have to get really creative. Plan A currently is build everyone in Guardian sets for those factions. Plan B is curl up in the fetal position and cry. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was Organ Tribes. Yeah, that was one of the last ones. I specifically remember Lizardman being difficult because it was the Duelist, and it took me so many attempts to get it. But yeah, chronologically, yeah, it was Ogren. Now that you mention it, that makes a lot of sense. I had I had the champions. Like, a lot of them were 5-star, so if I would have just taken the time to 6-star all the champions that I was using, it would have been so much easier. Like, I think I was using, like, a 5-star Maneater. Unbooked, maybe? I don't know. Like, stuff like that. Yeah, I think with that strategy, Mike, I would have to be able to burn the boss down before the shield gets knocked off. And I don't know if I'll be able to have... I mean, it's definitely worth a shot, for sure, 100%. Not denying that. Yeah, that's the other issue, is if you're trying to... So, if you guys don't know what Mike ML is talking about, there's this cheese strategy you can do for the Duelist, where you have like a level 1 champion with like no speed on them, so they don't take turns to outrun the shield set buff. Because they have no gear, their max HP is really low, so the fact that the boss's damage scales off their max HP, they're not doing any damage. So you have like champions and shield sets to artificially inflate that food champion's max HP, so they don't die to the boss. But then you have to make sure you've got enough damage to kill the boss before that food champion takes 3 turns. Which, you know, maybe I could do it that way. But it's definitely a valid strategy. But the hardest part is, like he said, is keeping them alive through the waves. I know Undead Horde in particular would be tough because they've got Valkyries in the waves. But luckily for me, I got 3 Seducers. I probably won't use all 3. But I've got Seducers for ally protection. And he puts block damage on himself when he does it. So if he gets targeted, then he blocks damage. Or if he's targeting my allies, then Seducer can ally protect. I might build 2 Seducers, I don't know. But I also have Dark Elhain for my damage dealer, so I could potentially, you know. But getting the food champion to the boss, I don't know if I'm gonna have good enough crowd control to swing that. Shadowkin is going to be tough. Taragi is like an all-star for that boss. But I'm not going to be able to use Taragi due to the parameters of this account. Yeah. I haven't even... Man. It's going to be tough. I think I can do it. It's just... It's, you know, it's just going to be hard. Yes, I am planning on leveling my Temptress for that. Yeah, dude, the Sithalias and the Thenasils, that's another one. Like, you really need to crowd control those guys so they can't heal each other. So, like, that's one where stun sets are really good in particular. That was part of the reason that Lizardman was so challenging was, you know, I built Basilisk and a stun set because he's got the AoE A1 and the 100% stun on his A2. So between, like, if I would open with an A1, and then if someone who I needed to crowd control wasn't crowd controlled from the stun set, I can go in and try to whack them with the A2. Odachi. I'll have to look at the index. I can kind of picture them in my head, but I don't know. Marauder. Yeah, I'm not good with names. I'm more of a faces guy. I recognize faces. Man, that's rough, Jay Pickens. Yeah, Tormund's a pain. Yeah, Fushan's really good too. I think my Lizardman team was, I think Venomage was the hardest carry. So it was Basilisk in a stun set, Venomage doing Venomage things, Broadmaw, probably Fane because I used her in my clan boss team and I already had her built. I don't remember who my fifth one was. Oh, Odachi. Yeah. Okay, I was picturing a female character. Yeah, I've got Odachi in my vault. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Baby marked. Baby marked. Do. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've got him set aside. Yeah, I'm already planning. When the time comes, I'm definitely going to build him. Yeah, for sure. A strong one. I meant to hit index. Hey, now that's stuck in my head. Life Taker does really good single target damage, so I could build her to be my damage dealer for the boss. And she brings a little bit of turn meter control. The problem is, like, the final boss, he gets turn meter boost whenever you critically hit him, I think. So, like, multi-hitters are not particularly good unless they're also decreasing the turn meter. He does poisons and weaken. He does stun, single target stun. I don't know, man. This is gonna be another tough one, but yeah, Odachi is great. Yeah, super good. My plan is to, like, build the team in Guardian so they don't die, and then just kill them as fast as possible. So I don't know. I'll probably just build whoever can do the most damage. Oh, they're a turn meter booster, right? Or something like that. Yeah, 15% turn meter boost. Yeah, that'd be good. I think on my old account I used Taragi. What's the girl who does the revive? I don't remember. But then I also had Ninja and Lady Kimmy, so that kind of made it a lot easier than it, you know. I had a pretty good team. And we got about 20 minutes before Live Arena starts. Oh, okay. AoE decrease. Yeah, that's pretty good. My approach for orcs. ML actually a while back recommended the uncommon who does an AoE provoke, and I was looking at them the other day, and that's actually probably my best bet. So I'll probably have to build 2 of that particular uncommon, just because the chance to provoke is kind of low. So I'll want multiples built. And then I'm probably gonna. And there's also one called. I don't know. I forget what he's called. But he does. He's got a 100% chance to stun on a 2-turn cooldown. I just pulled Gaelic, so I could potentially use Gaelic as my damage dealer. But I might. No, I could do something kind of cheesy here. If my crowd control is good enough, and this only works if my crowd control is good enough, I could build Ironclad in a 4-piece stun set and a 2-piece immortal, so that when he takes his turn, he gets a tiny little heal, and that will trigger his passive to do a AoE, potentially stunning everyone. So that's one thing I could do with Ironclad. Alternatively, I could put him in regen, so he gets a slightly larger heal at the start of his turn, and then do a big AoE nuke, like build him for damage in like a damage regen set. Again, both of those strategies are kind of like, they only work if he's getting overhealed. But, you know, if he can do an AoE at the start of each of his turns, he could be really good in a stun set. But it only works, his passive only triggers when he's overhealed. So, but yeah, I did just pull Gaelic. I think that's probably the safer route to go than Ironclad cheese. But, you know, who knows? Yeah, the uncommon with AoE provoke is probably the best, better than all the rares in the faction. Yeah, Ironclad and Toxic would be interesting too. Do they proc War Master? That's interesting. Okay. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. I just hadn't thought about it. Yeah, honestly, I'm probably going to have to build the War Chanter ×2 for enough crowd control. That faction is not a particularly difficult faction if you have epics, because the first time I did it, I just did it with 5 epics. It was one of the first ones that I completed on my old account. But Orcs has a ton of really good epics, but their rares are absolute trash. If every faction had a rare as good as Meat Carver Tolog, I would be set. I don't recall which one Totem is. There's one guy. I don't know. Oh, okay. I'll have to look at that one. Like, I'll have to look at him again when I'm ready to start pushing. Oh, we got resisted by Cold Heart. And then Yakarl didn't get a turn in there? What? That's weird. Normally he gets his turn in there. And that was his turn meter reduction, which means, and this is Slowbond's turn meter reduction right here. Oh, perfect. All right. Something weird happened. Oh, you know what it is? Cold Heart has the mastery that increases her speed whenever she gets a kill. So she's not always going to, depending on the RNG of like who dies to Cold Heart and who doesn't, she may or may not. Her speed is different potentially every time I get to the boss. I might have to change her masteries just so I can get a more consistent run. I don't know. It's working fine. I'm not going to mess with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I mean, wait, hold on. Let's look at Gaelic real quick. They have more than 2... Why is this conditional and why is it a 5-turn cooldown? Hashtag buff Gaelic. He's the poster child for the game, and he's like the... just a pile of trash. Pile of green garbage. You're saying... This Chopper, this is the guy I was thinking of. If you book it, it's a 2-turn cooldown, and it's a 100% chance to play stun. So this is actually really good. So him in tandem with probably 2 of these guys. So fully booked, he's got a 40% chance to provoke on a 3-turn cooldown, and he's got an A1 stun. Like, this is actually a really good Faction Wars champion. So if I could lock enemies down with the war... And, okay, look at his base stats, too. His defense is, like, horrible, but 19,000 base HP? That is respectable. Who are we supposed to look at? Raider? Is that who you said? Or no? This is the person I pictured in my mind. Maybe it wasn't Raider. Totem. You said Totem. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, it doesn't need to be booked to land the debuff. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. And she's A1 poison. A little bit of self-sustain. Yeah, she's not bad. Yeah, if I pull Veteran, yeah, he's great. He also does AoE block buffs for Hydra. Like, I want to pull him badly, because I need him for when Clan Boss goes Force Affinity, because right now Coffin Smasher's weak in affinity to Force. So he'd come in and be like a substitute for Coffin Smasher when it goes Force, and he'd be on my Hydra teams. This is like whatever. Maybe it hits hard. I don't know. I mean, oh, he gets 40% damage from books, so maybe it hits hard. I don't know. But yeah, I would if I pull him, I'll build him absolutely. So right now I'm 2 War Chanters, probably Chopper, maybe Ironclad, because I could use him in secret rooms too. An HP secret room in particular is a very challenging one to beat. And then from there, I don't know. Someone suggested, and I keep forgetting about it, but Torture Helm technically falls within the parameters of my challenge, being a free, permanently available champion. He's part of the Rosin Fusion. And I could fuse him right now, but I kind of just want to go for Rosin, if I'm being honest. Like, if I'll just wait, and like if I pull a Torture Helm down the road, then I'll just, you know, whatever. But I'm not going to fuse them and hold them back and wait until I get these champions to fuse Rosin again. Like, I don't want to. I don't feel like doing that. Warboy? Yeah, well. Yeah. Oh, 10 minutes till live arena, guys. My camera's really bothering me. And I know it's not super bad, but like, knowing that it could be better. You know, like now it's already like 100 times better than it was. Yeah, man, Orcs is gonna be rough. One of the main reasons I'm starting with Skinwalkers is because I think I could actually do the Skinwalkers with the champions I have. I've already finished Barbarians. I didn't even need Syl. Yakarl the Scourge just hard carried me. Bloodfeather is good. Yeah, she's a very hard-hitting champion. That is, you know what? It might be worth it to consider fusing Bloodfeather. She also does like decreased defense and weaken and the decreased speed. That's true. That is something I could do. I could build Bloodfeather and Torture Helm, and then once I beat Faction Wars, then fuse Rosin. That's actually a pretty good suggestion. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Mike. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. Thank you. Well, I'm still I don't have any gear on him yet, but I've 6-starred. What's his name? Yaga the Insatiable. I've 6-starred Gnarlhorn and Meat Carver Tolog. So those, I've 6-starred them already. I just haven't put any gear on them yet. And then I'm planning on building the decreased defense guy that looks like a piggy, so that my Yaga can hit harder, because he actually does really strong, hard-hitting attacks on his A2 and A3 in particular. So I want to put decreased defense up to like maximize his damage potential. And then there's one, I forget its name. I want to say Channeler, maybe? That does turn meter boost, big version of poison on their A1, and also when they turn meter boost, they give the small version of increased attack, which again will Yaga. Yeah, it's either use Yaga or wait until I get Cleopteryx, which is like 6 months away, so 6.5 months away. But I don't want to wait when I feel like I think Yaga can do it. I actually have a clanmate. His name is Sam. He used Yaga to beat the final boss. Yaga can actually... I know he's got a bad reputation, but he can actually hit very, very hard. He's got a 6 times attack damage... Well, it's like a 2.8, but it's a 2-hitter on his A2. It's 2.8 times attack. So it's very close. Like, when you double... I forget the exact values. I'm just talking out of my butt right now, but it's close to a 6 times attack damage multiplier on his A2 when you factor in that it hits twice. And then his A3 is also like very similar to a 6 times attack damage multiplier, but it also gets a 25% damage boost if the target's under poisons, and then it gets 30% more damage from books. So it's actually an insanely powerful, hard-hitting single target attack, both the A2 and the A3. So I know he's kind of a meme, because like Frozen Banshee's a better poisoner, but in terms of like single target raw damage, I think he's gonna be pretty good. Everybody feeds their Yaga, don't worry about it. I'm not offended. The important thing is I didn't feed my Yaga. That's all that really matters. Because like the whole point of this series is I'm using champions who are rare, uncommon, or common, plus any champion who is free and permanently available to all players. So because of the parameters that I'm limiting myself to, the only options I have for damage dealers are Yaga and Cleopteryx, really. There aren't any good damage dealers in the Skinwalkers faction. Hey, live arena starts in 5 minutes. I made the mistake of jumping in as soon as it started last time, so I was in the queue for a while, then I got matched against like a level 100 account, so I'm not going to do that again today. So, yeah. Also, I +1'd my Haikatoon. I pulled a second one, and I did a survey asking you guys if you think it would be fair to the, would it sacrifice the integrity of the challenge or the series if I were to build a second Haikatoon? And most people said no, but there was 30% of people said I should not build a second Haikatoon. Yeah, there you go. You got Leorius. He'll be set. I've heard Leorius is, at the very least, slightly better than Yaga. But yeah, so I've already 6-starred Yaga. I slapped some gear on him, so if I absolutely needed to, I could throw him on my clan boss team, but he doesn't have masteries yet, so I haven't actually... Also, he's level 16, so... I haven't taken the plunge on actually trying him in my clan boss team. But I've got Gnarlhorn built, who's one of the best rares in the game in my opinion, and then Tolog to help keep Gnarlhorn alive, and then I forget. I'm really bad with names, so I apologize. But this guy, Fleshmonger, to decrease defense to enable Yaga to actually hit harder with his A2 and A3. And then Blood Painter's the one I was thinking of. He's got the big poison on the A1. AoE decreased accuracy. But this is the main reason. He's got the turn meter boost with increased attack. Again, to help set up Yaga to just smack harder. So. And then Tolog to heal everybody up and revive if I need him. Yeah. So. That's going to be my... These 5 right here. are going to be my Skinwalker team. And I think I could do it with this team. I've got some other champions on standby just in case I need them. But I'm pretty sure these 5 right here will do it for me. So yeah. That's the plan there. Yes, but only slightly. Yeah, that sounds about right. I actually included Leorius in my J-Gigs DJ RNG diss track in one of the lines. Puffing out your chest trying to flex like Leorius. But if you battle me, you will never be victorious. Alright, let's just do this to kill time. I still have no idea what I'm going to do for most of the factions. I have like a broad general idea of the champions that I've pulled that are like kind of good. But some of these are going to be really hard. Like, Life Taker right here up front, she can hit very hard. So I might just build her in like a full nuke damage build and just try to race the boss down. While everyone else is in Guardian sets. I do have a really good pair of crit damage gloves from the Guardian set with like speed and crit rate on them. So maybe I could have like a damage Guardian set for Faction Wars that I just move from faction to faction when I'm trying to get Lydia. Because like once I have 3-starred it, I'm good. Like I won't need to 3-star it every time when I'm just farming glyphs and stuff. Yes, his reaction to that was amazing. I was so glad to see it made him laugh. Because that was always the intent, right? Like I wasn't trying to hurt his feelings. And it was kind of a, I don't want to say gamble because I know he's got a good sense of humor, but it was, you know, I was cautiously optimistic that he would get a kick out of it. Ho-Freeze is a good one, for sure. Sun Wukong obviously is great. Basher's really good too. Narhorn and Cleo, yeah, I think you're set, man. I think I needed Nishak. I fused Oko and Nishak on my old account, and I used each of them and Cleopteryx to beat. Alright, live arena's open. Let's get in there, guys. And girls and everyone. Okay. Does my Arbiter ever get to see play? Will she ever not get banned? Let's find out. First of all, can I get a match against a player close to my level? That's the first step. Excuse me. Nope. Level 92, huh? Okay, well. You win some, you lose some. Okay. Well, I don't know. Oh, so not only are they level 92... Oh no. So once I get Yannicka, she'll come in and replace Slowbond most of the time. Unless I see, like, Ultimate Death Knight. Well, I mean... I don't know what this rooster does. I remember seeing a thumbnail of a video of him hitting really hard. I don't know. Maybe my opponent is bad and they don't know how to gear champions, and then I'll just win. That's happened before. That's really annoying to face a player 20 levels higher than me. I'm gonna save my turn meter boost, since everyone on my team already has a full turn meter. Was there some sort of damage reflect on that dude's passive? Just turn meter knock her back with the A1. Oh, well. That's cool. I mean, it's about what you expect when you're fighting someone 22 levels higher. Well, I did go first, so his white queen wasn't built that fast. And it's possible I should have just A1'd with... I don't know. There's... I don't really care about Duchess. That's totally fine. Slowbond could one-shot the Duchess. Yeah, I mean, his Rathalos is pretty stacked. I wasn't expecting my Arbiter to die. Like, I could have done my Arbiter's other turn meter boost skill. But I wanted to save it for the revive, because Soulbond was almost dead. Again, level 100 player. So I'm just going to try to go first, ban their Arbiter. But my Haikatoon is only 235 speed. This right here is why I want to disassemble my clan boss team, because... Oh, I was still faster anyway. Wow. He should be ashamed of himself. This can't be resisted, so we'll just do this. I don't actually want to kill the monkey. I do... Oh, she's got the damn... Okay, that's fine. Damn it! Now Block Buffs is going to go out. That's... bologna sandwich. Ugh. Nice. So now I just have the monkey to worry about. He's slow as dirt, so... Did I just beat this guy? What? Bro, you should be ashamed of yourself. What? 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 Ah. 30 levels higher. Sun Wukong, Duchess. Pay to lose, baby. Yeah, that was. I'll be honest. I'm a little shocked, but you know it is what it is. In Raid Shadow Legends, knowledge is power. Knowing how to build your champions is way more important than just having better champions. Clearly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's one of the things. Like I'm trying to set out to demonstrate with this series is it's not necessarily about the champions you have. I mean, obviously you need certain abilities to counter mechanics on boss fights, etc. But what I'm trying to prove is like, you know, the game isn't. I mean, obviously, PvP can be extremely pay to win. Don't get me wrong, but I think the majority of PvE content can be overcome with rares and free champions. PvP is a totally different animal, but that last match was a perfect example of like gear greater than champions. Stoutus is... This guy's a pain in the ass. I've lost to him a couple times. Stoutus is a huge threat. He's annoying. I always like to take Dark Elhain last, just in case they take a freeze champion. I'm gonna go first, I assume. Man, okay. I'm banning Wixwell because I don't know. Okay, I was gonna say as long as Yakarl the Scourge didn't get banned, I think I can beat this guy. 'Cause I could just crowd control them and pick them off one at a time. Okay, Staltus is like the biggest threat. This guy, I forget exactly what he does, but I think he revives or something. Let's just hit auto now. Yeah, okay. Whew. I'll be honest, I was a little nervous. I think if Yakarl got banned, there's a good chance that I lost that round. Or lost that fight. Well, I agree with you, Barty, but Staltus was definitely the scariest threat. But I knew if I could crowd control Staltus, I could probably handle it. That was the thing. So I was confident that if Yakarl didn't get banned, I was going to win. Because I could just crowd control and manhandle. But even if Yakarl got banned, I could still one-shot the Staltus with Soul Bond. So that's kind of where my head was at. But I think a lot of... I don't know... I need to look at the speeds that people run Wixwell at in their clan boss team so I can figure out if I'm going to be fast enough to get in and crowd control Wixwell. That was my biggest concern was... Again, I think if as long as I go first and I can crowd control, I'm fine. So right now, for me, the ban is Arbiter. Hey, what's up, Peanut Butter? She's really annoying with Yakarl because she cleanses she throws the debuffs back at the caster. I don't even know what she does, if I'm being perfectly honest. Yeah. Hey, what's up, R2? I guess it depends on how you define a threat, right? Because, like, Wixwell does the counterattack and provokes on his A1. So if I don't crowd control him, then I just get locked down. So, to me, that's a bigger threat than Staltus, who I knew I could either A, crowd control with Yakarl, or B, one-shot with Soulbot. Oh, well, I'm just hosed. Block debuffs goes up, and then... What? What? How do you not do block debuffs there? Oh, because you have an AoE stun? Okay, well, I mean... My opponent was just faster, and so I lost. That's kind of what that came down to. Yeah, I mean, they went first. That's all it was. But if it was me... Wait. Rio stunned Soulbond, but she doesn't do that on her A1, does she? Wait, or whatever. Wait. Is she in a stun set? Were all his champions in stun sets? Hold on a second. I know Rio does like every debuff in the... Oh, that's not the right one. Rio... Oh, it does do a stun. Okay. So that was just what it was. Okay. She does so much on that damn skill. For me personally, if I was staring down the barrel of a Yakarl the Scourge, I would have opened with block debuffs. Call me crazy. But, I mean, I don't even know what that other champion was, that Void Legendary that he had. Kind of want to see what they do. Maybe a Dark Elf or something? Yeah, okay. Oh, we have a... Okay. Maybe that's why. Oh, but they did this. AoE stun. Okay, whatever. I don't know. Either way, if I was fast, see, this is again like right there. Is exactly why I don't like my Haikatoon at 235 speed. She needs to be that for my clan boss team, but for live arena, it's if I was able to go first, that would have been a completely different match. What am I doing here? Sorry. Yeah, if a champion has been released in the last year, there's a really good chance that I'm not familiar with them, because I quit playing about a year ago, and I've only been playing again for 6 months, and I didn't go back and learn all the champions that were released in my time off from the game. Where's Haikatoon? No, I'm not doing any temporary fusions on this account. If I happen to pick up a few fragments here and there to convert into High Mother mod fragments, I will. But it's not something that I'm going for aggressively. Alright, so I'm firmly of the belief that accounts near, at, or around my level should be trying to go first, because it's very difficult to build a go second team for arena. It's very champion and gear dependent. So because I desperately want to go first, I'm going to ban Arbiter. I'm not worried about these necessarily, for reasons I've stated in the past. Like, I can deal with them. I can't deal with him if he goes first and kills me before I get a turn. And they've been dealt with. Temporarily. I need to kill Ultimate Death Knight. So I can single target Stoutus. Okay. And if I didn't kill Ultimate Death Knight, I could A1 into Stoutus, and then the first hit of Stoutus's A1 would have hit Ultimate Death Knight, and the second hit could still hit Stoutus. Stoutus can still 100% kill me here, by the way. Just so everybody knows. Unless I do this. Okay. How this many people have Mithrala? They probably spent a bunch of money, got a bunch of champs, and then smashed out Hydra early on. Yep, that was... We got there. Again, going first is, like, absolutely imperative for me and with the champions that I have access to. I do not yet have a Go Second team built. And I certainly don't have a Go Second team built that can go toe-to-toe with some of these level 100 accounts that I'm queuing into. I did take the mastery on Soul Bond, that Cycle of Violence, I think is what it's called, so you have a chance to reset the cooldown, or reduce the cooldown of one of her skills. So because I opened with the A2, the Cycle of Violence triggered, and it was off cooldown by the time I was ready to take out Stoutus, so that was actually pretty lucky. I'll admit, like, I got favorable RNG. Deacon, okay. I see your Deacon, and I raise you Arbiter and Haikatoon. Right now, Deacon's the ban. Because again, I really want to try to go first. Deacon's still the ban. That doesn't change anything for me. I would have to see someone, like, insanely insane to make me want to... Okay, I think we can safely ban Arbiter here. It's fair. But again, we want to go first. As long as I can go first, I'm set. Because Yakarl just locks everybody down and lets my damage dealers kill him over time. Ooh, baby. Boop. Can his Sill of the Drakes 1v4? Not while she's frozen. Take a bow. Soulbond is a very good champion for single target damage, and her A2 ignores 75% of the target's defense. So she's very good at countering Ultimate Death Knight in particular. That's my favorite use case for her, is like just blasting UDKs. But it's a lot harder to justify building a single target damage dealer over like an AoE damage dealer. But she could be a very solid niche pick if you need to counter an Ultimate Death Knight. And it's not likely that your opponent will ban her either. Okay. This is gonna be like the opposite of all my other matches so far, where I'm the bully. Yeah, that's fine. Then we'll do Yakarl and Dark Elhain next. Oh yeah, she's not bad in Doomtire Secret Rooms either. She's got a handful of use cases. She can do stun set A1s, or stun set, yeah, AoE A1 for stun set is really nice. She does additional turn meter control with her. That's an interesting choice. With her A3, the turn meter reduction on her A3, like if someone doesn't get stunned and you need to like keep someone from taking a turn, her A3 is really good for that in particular. I'm just gonna do this. Nice try, monkey. Yeah, that turn meter steal on Yakarl is so nuts. Like, he just prevented Sun Wukong from going, and then immediately went back into freezing Trunda. Yakarl's A2 is very powerful. I mean, he's no Armands, to be fair, but, like, I've been saying this. If you have Armands, you probably don't need Yakarl. However, if you don't have Armands, you can probably get some use out of Yakarl. He's a great champion. And I think that... I was going to win that match no matter what, but that particular instance of like, oh, Sun Wukong's about to go? Nope. No turn meter for you. And then go right back into freezing Trunda with his A1. So this is the ban. So if you don't know this guy... If he would die... I think he becomes unkillable or puts block damage on himself, and then he transforms, then revives the entire team with 2 turns worth of block damage on them. I can't beat that. That is 100% the ban. Like, there's literally nothing, I'm gonna lose this match. Unless my opponent is just really, really, really bad at the game. And they have no idea how to gear their champions. So I just ban the champion I 100% can't beat, and then cross my fingers and hope my opponent is bad. They're actually, now that I think about it, maybe I could... I don't know. No, there's no way. Yeah, Yakarl is absolutely a beast. Well, I went second, so I've probably lost. We'll see. Maybe he doesn't know how to gear his champions. Maybe by some miracle, he's just really bad. Nope, okay. He has some semblance of competency. At the very least. Why am I stuck in this? Okay, cool. Can't escape either. Alright, I'm gonna close out the game and try again. That's a fair point. Yeah, I mean, you should always... There's never, like... Oh, wait. Oh, I wasn't even... I totally forgot that this reset was today. You guys want to see my defense? I guess nobody attacked me. I don't know. That's funny. I totally forgot that was today. You got 2 more matches? Ice Golem hard is hard, to say the least. If you get hit by his passive, Frigid Vengeance, you're hosed. Like, you just die. So, I hate Ice Golem. Ice Golem is my least favorite dungeon for that reason, but it's particularly annoying and hard. Like, you have to have some really good burn champions. It's so annoying. I'm gonna throw him off and do the lock in the Haikatoon pick first. Maybe the other guy banned my Haikatoon because my Haikatoon was +1? And the guy who didn't ban my Arbiter? I don't know, it's the only thing I could think of. Yeah, that was my OP defense. Okay, so I think this is the ban. Like, we just want to try to go first, so... Hopefully his, tower isn't faster than 235 speed. It probably is if he's using them in Clan Boss. Eh, we lost. Oh, not necessarily. We have Yakarl. We can freeze. So if our attack doesn't... Okay. So... Crap. I'll save my cooldowns. Who's got more turn meter? Artak or Michinaki? I think Artak technically does, but I'm more afraid of getting hit by Michinaki. I'm also scared of getting hit by the monkey. So hopefully, if Yakarl doesn't die, he should have his AoE freeze back up. Or maybe there's one more turn on it. Damn it. Those counterattacks hosed me completely. The fact that he got a 2-turn block damage off before I even got a turn, and it was still this close, it should be embarrassing for him, by the way, just saying. Like, if Yakarl the Scourge got this turn, I would be able to lock them down with another freeze. His AoE freeze was coming back off cooldown. The counterattacks got me. That was the main thing, really. Yeah, I honestly I don't have a whole lot of experience with Ice Golem Hard. I could do a few stages of it on my old account, but it was just one of those things where like all my champions I had War Master on because I wanted them to have War Master for other content. And because I had War Master, it would trigger the Frigid Vengeance procs on Ice Golem. So like I would just get smoked. So I never really farmed Ice Golem Hard on that account. Um, and I just didn't enjoy doing the dungeon anyway, so I didn't really want to spend resources. F you, raid. It's funny. I don't know. There might be something like it's always challenging to speed tune for Ice Golem because if his side ads die and then get revived, it's like impossible to. It's just one of those things you can't really speed tune. But there could potentially be something that could be done where you can time it so like you put block damage up with like Helicath or something, and then do like an enemy max HP nuke. Oh wow. At first I thought I was gonna win simply because my opponent's level 58, but he's clearly spent an exorbitant amount of money, so it's possible that he could have bridged the skill gap by swiping his credit card. Dude, Yakarl, yeah, I mean Yakarl the Scourge is, yeah, the index, the background, it's OP. So all of these champions are really powerful. For me, Elva Autumnborn is the scariest. Is that still true? Like, how much money have you spent at level 58 to have all these champions? That is ridiculous. I feel sorry for this guy. As long as Yakarl the Scourge doesn't get banned, I think I'm fine. I could win with... Like, I'm hoping he just bans Arbiter. Perfect. That's kind of what I was thinking. Okay, I think I could win. Maybe. It's impossible to say how much money he spent. He could have just buy tons of gear. Okay, that was the passive. That wasn't... his champions are really fast. Valkyrie's gonna go. But the question is... Okay, I was going to say, the question is, does Yakarl get a chance to go here? Resisted, huh? I get counterattacked, that's fine. I mean, it's I obviously prefer not to get counterattacked. No freeze. Okay, it's really bad RNG. Each hit has a 55% chance to place freeze. I completely whiffed. So if he kills Yakarl, I'm dead. I'm done. Okay. Oh, he gets an extra turn too. Why wouldn't he? Yeah. Go ahead. And she still cuts in. Okay, so... I mean, I can technically win this. It's gonna be... Nope. Okay, I lost. Yeah. Congratulations. You won at a video game by spending more money than your opponent. You are clearly the superior player, better in every way. I mean... The only way I was going to win that was by locking them down with Yakarl the Scourge and preventing them from ever taking turns. The only champion they had on their team that was going to prevent that strategy from coming to fruition was Elva Autumnborn. If Elva Autumnborn was built with resist, or she just got lucky and resisted and then did the cleanse, or even worse, go first and place the block debuffs before Yakarl gets a turn, I lose. So yes, the other champions on their team were scary. Like, Skullcrown was scary, Rotos was scary, Valkyrie is scary. But if I was able to control them with Yakarl, I would win. So I lost because, A, not only did he spend more money than me, that's number one, but number two, Yakarl the Scourge's A1 didn't freeze Rotos. If Yakarl the Scourge's A1 froze Rotos, I would have won. Plain and simple. So I lost to bad RNG, and I lost to an opponent who spent more money than me. That's what it came down to. So yes, Skullcrown was scary, but she was never really a threat because of Yakarl. That's why I banned Elva. Elva was the one champion they had that could guarantee shut me down if he went, like, if Elva went before Yakarl, I was host. There was 0% chance that I win that fight. So I took the option that... So there's a saying in poker and other card games where it's play to your outs. My out was not getting hosed on this when I attacked Rotos. So it's a 50% chance. Plus I've taken Fearsome... Get the fuck off my screen. Fearsome Presence Mastery. So he had a 55% chance with each hit, and both whiffed. I lost 2 slightly higher chances on a coin flips in a row. So that's why I lost. That's what it came down to, RNG. But I was playing to my outs. How do I win this game? I ban Elva Autumnborn and be faster. That's it. So I did everything in my power, but we lost to RNG at the end of the day. So that's kind of what you need to be thinking about. Don't necessarily look at which individual champion is the scariest. Think about which champion has the potential to ruin your best chances of winning. So that's kind of what I was thinking. My best chances of winning were to crowd control them with Yakarl, and then use one or both of my damage dealers to pick them off one at a time. So that was my out, and I was playing to my out. Unfortunately, we just lost a coin flip, with 2 coin flips. So it is what it is. You can't win them all. But yeah. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for everyone who's... Actually, hold on. Hold that thought. There we go. This is better. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone who's been hanging out in chat tonight. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you can, find my channel easier in the future. Hang out again. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, I will see you in another video soon, but until next time, everyone, happy raiding.